Now it's starting to come down a little bit again, and I think one thing to look at is the wind conditions, and the wind has also started to pick up. So, you're talking about an offense that wants to open it up and light it up. We'll see if they're able to do that today with the weather conditions.
The Seattle Seahawks have won the toss. Jason Hanson, who's had an outstanding year, will kick off. The Seahawks have won 6 consecutive games at home, the second longest streak in franchise history. And for Detroit, well, it all started with a bad plane in Detroit. They stayed on the runway for 5.5 hours, changed planes. Bottom line, Tim, the trip lasted about 9.5 hours to get out here on Friday.
Yeah, and they got here, and that's certainly somewhat of a distraction, but I think a good idea coming in a couple of days early, making the long trip, and they're trying to keep a 2-game winning streak alive, are the Detroit Lions.
They're trying to ruin that 20-game losing streak on the road. That one is out of the end zone. Great kick by Hanson. And so the Seahawks will start up 1st and 10 on the 20. Matt Hasselbeck, 10-5 in his last 15 starts. He's got full control of this offense, and it looks like it. Up front, Steve Hutchinson, really one of the hardcore blocks in that offensive line.
Yeah, and he's playing at an all-pro level, no doubt about it.
Warren Robinson could be the new go-to guy because, as we've said, Tim, Darrell Jackson has had a lot of problems just catching the ball. They'll pass right off the bat. Over the middle to Robinson. And Robinson has it just across the 25-yard line. The defense for Detroit, their defensive front. They haven't gotten a lot of pressure. James Hall leads the team in sacks with 4. Boss Bailey, the sensational rookie. He's tall, he's fast, and he gets around the ball.
Yeah, we talked about him. 4'3", 40 playing outside linebacker. That's amazing.
Dre Bly, first game back. He missed 2 with a hamstring. 2nd and 1. Going outside for Bobby Ingram, and it's just outside.
Ronnie, I think right now, if you're Seattle in this football game, a couple of things. You want to start quick. I think you want to get points, and Mike Holmgren always talks about that. Wants points out of the first 2 drives for sure. And also now, think about it, this team has lost 2 or 3 games. Confidence will be a big thing early in this football game for this Seattle offense.
3rd down and 1. They'll hand off to Alexander. Alexander has a big hole. Alexander into Lion territory, 1 man to beat. All the way down to the 15-yard line. Otis Smith finally brings him down.
Well, where do they go when they want it? They go right to the left side. Down block by Mealy, a pull by Walter Jones. And then it's Sean Alexander. Breaks the tackle to the next level of the defense. Now it's all about being in the open field and reading your block by Bobby Ingram. Ends up cutting backfield, gets all he can, and gets taken down. His long runs have been down this year, but one thing he's done is he's done very well with the average at 4.1, and the more he hits that hole with some vigor, the more those long plays will open up.
His longest run of the season, that was good for 55. 1st and 10, Mo Morris. Morris trying to get some, and he's knocked out of bounds again. Otis Smith very busy at the corner position already.
Mike talked about big plays and getting more big plays for this offense and opening it up. Now, it doesn't have to be all in the passing game. Right there, they just run the power off tackle to the big fella, and he runs it all the way down and puts a fat run together, does Sean Alexander. And those are the types of big plays Mike's looking for. Whether it's run or pass, he wants big chunks of yards, and he wants this offense to get it going early.
And the Lions have not been very good in the red zone on defense, but the Seahawks haven't been too outstanding either. Hasselbeck to throw. Right now, let's check in with James Brown for the first time down in Los Angeles. JB.
Hey, Ron, can you believe it? The upset of the day, Kansas City has finally lost. Cincinnati's Kitna hooking up with Peter Ward. 2 touchdowns on a day, 114 receiving yards. Chad Johnson guaranteed it. Say it, first place Cincinnati Bengals tied with Baltimore. Back to Ron and Tim.
I got to believe Chad Johnson can get a free soda pop right about now.
Well, that's why they gave him that $25 million contract last week. Guaranteed a win over the undefeated Chiefs, and they get it done. Awesome stuff.
4 wide out look for Seahawks. Alexander to draw. And he's down inside the 5. And Tim, was it the old bait and switch? Mike Holmgren throwing it out there. Hey, we're going to throw. It's not raining now, and they've been running the ball.
Well, I think so. And I think if you're Mike, you know, certainly you want to open it up and you want to get it down the field, but he's going to be smart about it. He's going to attack smart. One thing he's always done is he attacks matchups, and he's not going to sit there and throw a deep ball when guys are double covered over the top. He will be smart in how he attacks this defense.
Pick up a 5. Alexander again. Tries the middle, didn't get much.
Now this would be big for Detroit, Ron, if they can get a stop here. I mean, you give up the one big play on the run to Alexander, and now try to stiffen up with your backs against the wall. Try to hold these guys to a field goal and keep this crowd out of this game. That's one thing this team has done here, has been undefeated, and there's a head coach, Steve Mariucci, and he knows what it's like playing up in these types of conditions. And in the rain and all those years in San Francisco at Candlestick Park. But again, try to get this crowd out of it if you're Detroit defense right now. Keep them quiet.
2nd and goal, empty backfield. That's Alexander motioning out the quarterback draw, and Hasselbeck will score. Touchdown, Seahawks.
Well, so much for that, playing defense. Sean Rogers in the middle for Detroit on defense. Watch what he does here. Tries to come inside with a swim move. Matt Hasselbeck just reads it. Wide open, boom, touchdown. Now, whether they had a predetermined pass rush stunt on or not, I don't know, but Sean Rogers got caught hitting the A-gap inside.
Hasselbeck with his 2nd rushing touchdown of the season. And Brown will try to put one more on top of that. And so the sun comes out at the last minute, even though it's still raining. But it's all Seattle.
Well, right what Coach Holmgren talked about is starting quick and making things happen. And this is a called quarterback draw the whole way. Something they picked up on game plan. Good blocking up front. Easy touchdown for Matt Hasselbeck.
And that, of course, sparked by the big play, the run play by Sean Alexander right off the bat.
You know, Matt is playing at such a high level this year, and it goes all the way back to the last 6 games of last season. There was not a better quarterback in the NFL than Matt Hasselbeck. And not only has he got better from, you know, his number standpoint and being on the field, but he's become a huge leader here for the Seahawks.
If you look at the scoring drive there, 8 plays, 80 yards.
There's the big one, the 55-yard run there by Sean Alexander.
And Tim, this is a part of that killer instinct that Mike Holmgren talked about all week long. He doesn't feel like his team knows how to put people away, and they definitely haven't done it on the road.
No, they haven't. And you know, as many big wins as they've had here at home, and they're going to need one on the road down the line here, and they've got some tough ones coming up.
So the Lions will take the kick. Reggie Swinton.
Look at this formation on the kickoff team.
Yeah, that's designed to keep the receiving team from counting and getting blocks. You're seeing a lot more of that these days. Brown kicks a squiver. Swinton across the 30, and he'll go down at about the 32-yard line. That'll mean Joey Harrington. That's right, his parents are here. They're in the stadium somewhere. He came down with about 2,000 people. In fact, if it weren't for Joey Harrington's parents, we're not sure we'd have a sellout here today. They bought up the last 1,500 or so tickets.
That's right, and there's his mom right there, Valerie Harrington, sitting up in the box, staying out of the rain. She's used to these types of conditions as well. And watching Joey play all those years down at Oregon.
You know, he acted in the meeting the other day like, yeah, it's nothing new. Yeah, they'll rent buses and limos and come.
That's not. I'm all 2,000 people. Are you kidding me? That's awesome. He goes, nothing new. My aunt and mom have been doing it my whole college career, so people are used to it.
First and 10 for the Lions at the 32-yard line. They'll hand it off to Bryson. And even without Simmons, the Seahawk defense is attacking. Randall Godfrey. And here's some of that 2,000-plus Harrington family crew that showed up. And early on, they had a nice little sign going, except for one thing.
What's this? Go Cousin Joey with the E upside down. See, that's what happens when you get real excited. You get cranked up. You ever been put on the spot and you got to make something happen and you just don't do it?
Hey, at least he got it up there.
That's right.
The effort that counts. 2nd down and 10. No gain on the play. Here comes the pressure. Hamlin blitzes, and it's complete. Scotty Anderson. And he's out close to the 50-yard line and a first down. Let's take a look at the rest of the Detroit Lion offense. The old man playing very well. 40-year-old Ray Brown anchoring that offensive line. Fitzsimmons has really been the biggest star on offense next to Harrington, the undrafted rookie out of Carroll College in Montana.
That's right, and stole the starting position at tight end. It belonged to Michael Ricks, and Casey Fitzsimmons has played too well this year.
That was a pickup of 15, first and 10. Bryson again. And he runs into another Seahawk wall. Rashad Moore, he takes the place of the injured Norman Hand, who was out for the season with a torn bicep tendon. He'll have surgery. They put him on IR. D.D. Lewis will take the place of Anthony Simmons, who we said earlier has been benched for disciplinary reasons. Ken Hamlin, he's been nicked up, as well as his backup, Damian Robinson, but he's in there now as a starter.
Hamlin will still lay the hammer down. You know that.
Second down and 9. All runs so far, and again, Bryson inside. He's close to the first.
And this isn't what Detroit wants. Yeah, I mean, another 3-and-out situation. Way too many this year. Look at that, 32 of them, second most in the NFL, and it's not what a Mariucci offense is supposed to do. Come out and take what the defense gives you, take the running game, take the short passing game. And here they are, you know, in a big third down situation, trying to avoid that 3-and-out.
It'll be a 3rd and 7. That's Azakim in motion. Protection's good. Harrington looking for Azakim, and it's incomplete. And that'll bring on the punting unit for the Detroit Lions.
Good protection for Joey Harrington, who's only been sacked 6 times all year. Best in the NFL. Pretty good throw, too. Azakim just drops it. Got a lot of heat on this ball over the middle. Just bounces off the arm there of Azakim. A little bit behind him, but one he could have came down with. And again, a 3-and-out for Detroit.
Nick Harris will punt away to Bobby Ingram. Ingram standing at about the 11-yard line. He calls for the fair catch. And he drops it. And the Seahawks dodge a huge bullet. Technically, that is a muff. It would not have been advanced, or could not have been advanced. But the wind, he's got a little wind that had to be a factor.
Yeah, and we talked about the wind coming up, and Bobby Ingram thinks he's got a good read on this, and basically just dies in the air and falls a yard in front of him, right off his fingertips. And now very lucky down in this area of the field, down on the 10-yard line, that Seattle was able to get that football.
Reggie Tongue came back.
Bobby Ingram is back there, Ron, because he's so sure-handed. Yes, he's a good return man, but when you return and punch, you put a guy back there who can field the football.
I got to tell you, after returning punts in the NFL, wind is your worst enemy. It's hard enough to catch the ball, but when it's windy, it's very tough.
Not to mention, it's hard to get a gauge on it in the wind, and then it's wet when it comes down.
Right. First and 10 for Matt Hasselbeck. He'll throw play action. Going down the field, he pulls it back, checks it down to Alexander. Alexander looks like he may pick up another first down.
I think in the running game that we talked about early on with Sean Alexander in the big play, that's where you need to hit Detroit on defense. And they're very, very stout in the middle. I mean, the big fellas, Dan Wilkinson and Sean Rogers, 72 and 92 here. We're talking about 700 pounds of beef in the middle of that defense. Run at the edges if you're the Seahawks.
Pickup of 11 by Alexander. They'll throw it again. Ball's out. And Matt Hasselbeck recovers, and look at who's wide open. Darrell Jackson. The man who's dropped 8 balls in the last 3 games comes down with it. And Dan Wilkinson, he had almost a for sure fumble recovery.
He had a sack, a forced fumble, and a fumble takeaway. Look at the rip move on Chris Gray right by him. Gets his hands on that football. Hasselbeck's not having it. He says, how lucky can you get? That's a big play by Seattle to be able to hang on to that ball. Now, Darrell, look at the wind blowing that rain sideways. Just pitch and catch and able to keep the feet in.
And a lot has been said about Darrell Jackson and the drop passes. They put together a tape for him as Alexander goes inside for a few. They put together an instructional video to help him catch the ball better because he's dropped so many passes, 12 on the season. And look how close this is.
That's just pure luck. That's what that is, because Big Daddy Dan Wilkinson had that ball, and the way it bounced around and bobbled between both of their arms. It was an early Christmas gift for Hasselbeck, falling right in the breadbasket and able to get the completion. But nice rush by the big fella there inside to try to wreak some havoc and make something happen.
2nd down and 9. Alexander, and he's hit hard on the outside. Barrett Green in on the initial hit, along with Doug Evans, a former Seattle Seahawk.
And it's plays like that where you've really seen the maturity process of Matt Hasselbeck. And guys covered down the field, you go to your check down. That's all there is to it. And that's not a bad thing in the West Coast offense for Mike Holmgren. Check it down, now put yourself in a makeable situation, pick up 5 or 6 yards. Now you got an opportunity to get a first.
He says it's all about the 3rd down conversions for his team. They've got to be outstanding. They're 3rd in the NFL, 3rd and 4. There it is. Ingram, the 3rd down man. And he's across the 30-yard line down at about the 26. Brian Walker on the tackle.
And this is what Seattle's going to do to these guys all day. Detroit doesn't play man defense. They don't have the personnel. Watch Bobby Ingram. He'll come and just sit in the zone, find a little spot. He's so good at that, reading on the run. And then Brian Walker, who's the safety, slips way back there, which allows Bobby Ingram to pick up the extra yards.
Looked like they had a little zone drop on with Kalimba Edwards. That was good for 17. And another Seahawk 1st down. So Mike Holmgren showing that offensive power that he said he was going to show this week. They'll go back to Alexander on the ground. James Hall trips him up for a couple.
Pretty good penetration here early on by the Detroit defensive line. They're just not making plays once they get there. And that time you saw Sean Rogers fly into the backfield and have an opportunity to make a play, and they didn't do it. And there's the new guy, Luther Ellis. First game back this year as a Detroit Lion. Had a pec or chest injury, lifting it home. That guy's 2 Pro Bowls he's got under his belt. They're glad to have him back.
He'll get a shot to tackle right off the bat. That's Alexander again. And that left side of the line with Walter Jones, the Pro Bowler, and Steve Hutchinson is really where they go when they need a power game.
Those 2 guys may be the best left guard, left tackle tandem right now in the National Football League. And again, I like the idea of bouncing it outside. Don't try to run up to the middle where the strength and all the beef is, where Detroit can settle in and hunker down and play the run. Run it at the edges, run it at James Hall, run it at Kalimba Edwards, run it at Robert Porcher, the guys that are a little light in the pants.
Lions bring in their heavy package, expecting an inside run here on 3rd and 1 after that 4-yard pickup. And we've got a timeout called by the Detroit Lions. They didn't look like they were all on the same page. Next week, we've got all the NFL action coming up. It all starts right after America's #1 pregame show. Then these Lions continue their road trip when they take on the first-place Vikings, or the Bears look for their first road win when they take on the Broncos, trying to get back up to stuff. You'll get all that plus the other action. Coverage begins at noon Eastern, 9 a.m. Pacific, right here and only here on Fox.
Well, so far, so good for Mike Holmgren and his football team. And look at St. Louis, got it done over the Chicago Bears. They're 7-3 now. Not a must-win for Seattle, but they've really got to keep pace now with the St. Louis Rams. I have a feeling both of these teams will battle out for this division all the way through, and it's going to set up a massive game in St. Louis December 14th when the Hawks go into town.
Well, this is when it's all for real, Tim. You know, they're coming down the stretch here.
Is it November?
The messing around is over with. That's Max Strong. And Max Strong doesn't mess around when he puts that head down. He's been the blocking back, the Steve Largent Award winner the last 2 years in a row, for the player who exemplifies the most team spirit and dedication. And he's been around the league a long time, 11 years. That's a lot of battering ram shots.
Sure is, and the longest tenured Seahawk here in Seattle, and he'll hit it up in there. He's a pretty good runner as well, but he's got that mentality that you need as a fullback, basically thinking, okay, I'm going to finish the game. The middle linebacker isn't. Usually Max Strong is on the winning side of that deal.
Strong picks up the first down. Hasselbeck, the throwback screen inside to Atula Mealy, the tight end. And that's a very nice job by Earl Holmes of shutting the play down.
Earl Holmes has seen too many of these plays. Played a lot of football for the Pittsburgh Steelers, over to Cleveland last year for 150 tackles. He's not going to be fooled by this middle screen. Going to get back and a little drop. Now he sees it. See, he's already sniffed it out. When you sniff it out as a linebacker, you go get it. It's the best thing to do as a screen. You read it, you react on the run, and Earl Holmes makes a nice play down in his own red zone.
Leading tackler of the team. Has led his team in tackles the last 4 years. 2 of those were in Pittsburgh. A pickup of 2 on the play by Mealy. Hasselbeck, plenty of time. Dumps it off to Alexander. But Alexander has no place to go. Green on the tackle. We'd like to welcome those of you watching the St. Louis-Chicago game. There is the final. Chicago came out of the blocks great, Tim, but they couldn't get it done.
Yeah, the big return by R.W. McQuarters. It looked like they were going to get that victory over a pretty good Rams team. That Rams offense struggling now over the last couple weeks. We saw what they did to Baltimore in that game 2 weeks ago, and then today, though. But getting the win over the Bears, that's huge. As we said, setting up this division race in the West.
7-0 after a nice long run by Alexander. It set up a touchdown run by Matt Hasselbeck. And the Seahawks are down there again. That's Alexander one more time. He's inside the 5. Brian Walker may have saved the touchdown.
Good call by Mike Holmgren. Again, running at the edges. This time it's over here behind Chris Terry, the offensive tackle. The same scheme, down block by the tight end. Pull your tackle, get him out on the edge, and then Sean Alexander picks up the yards necessary for the first down. And that's what you do with those big offensive tackles and Walter Jones and Chris Terry, as I talked about. Run at the edges of this Detroit defense.
A pickup of 4. First and goal. They'll run inside. Alexander won't make it. Dan Wilkinson, Big Daddy, maybe on his final leg here, makes the tackle. Alexander has run all over the place.
Yeah, he has, and has had the most success, as I said, mostly over there to the left side with the 59-yard run. Had the 55-yarder, two carries there to the left side and then to the right. 1 carry for 4 yards, the one we just saw for the first down.
77 is eligible.
You got Pork Chop Womack in there. You hear that? 77 has declared himself eligible. He's over here on the left side.
Play action. Looking for the tight end. Stevens, and flags are down. They ran the play action, and they had Jeremy Stevens open, but he couldn't get him the ball. But let's see what the flag's about.
I'll tell you what,
Holding. Defense number 95. It's a 5-yard penalty. In this case, half the distance to the goal. Automatic.
And he bailed out Seattle's offense there, did Jared DeVries, because there was no way that ball was going to be caught out there in the end zone. Jeremy Stevens, that ball, even at 6'7", that ball was too high for him to go up and get it. And DeVries picks up the hold. That's a mismatch. When you get DeVries on Jeremy Stevens, Hasselbeck will try to exploit that as much as he can.
Stevens in motion. Alexander. And Alexander makes it 13-zip Seahawks.
Well, so far it's not going according to plan for Detroit on defense. They talked about stopping the run. They know everything has started here in Seattle with Sean Alexander, and it's gone par for the course. And you know what's going to be interesting to see as this game moves on, Ron, is how much they can stop him without having to pull that safety down in the box. Because if they have to do that early and often, that passing game will really start to light it up. This game could get ugly.
7th round draft pick out of Nebraska. Tacks on another one. So far here in the first quarter, it's been all about the Seahawks.
These everyday low fares to your favorite vacation destinations start at just $49.
You are now free to move about the country.
Okay, contestants, you have to make your way from Maine to California. Oh, without cash, checks, or credit cards. Bye-bye.
The Visa check card is accepted at millions of places across the country, which is why millions of people rely on it.
Let me borrow your bike.
No.
Lend me the bike.
No.
The Visa check card to get you in, out, and on your way.
Well, these three made it, but where's our other contestant?
Visa, it's everywhere you want to be.
When love is all we need. All we need. Don't you find that ironical? When love is all we need. Oh, yeah. Oh,
PT Cruiser. Total Quality Award winner 3 years running.
Fox NFL Sunday is brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Friendly nonstop service all across the country. Southwest Airlines, a symbol of freedom.
Back here in Seattle, 14-0 Seahawks. Another nice scoring drive by the Seahawks as you look at it right there.
And here's the key right there. 13 plays. Time of possession huge, and what they're doing is they're wearing down Detroit on defense, and as if Detroit doesn't have enough problems with all the injuries anyway. And now it's going to become a battle of attrition if these guys can keep it going and keep controlling the clock like they've been doing here in the first quarter.
Seattle offense was flawless in those first two drives. Reggie Swinton, who's been pretty good returning the ball, gets absolutely nothing that time. Kerry Carter, the undrafted rookie from Stanford, makes the play. When we come back, it'll be Joey Harrington. He's down by 14.
Real man of genius. Today we salute you, Mr. Way Too Much cologne wearer. Like a bullhorn, your cologne announces your arrival 4 blocks before you get there.
Here he comes now.
Here a splish, there a splash. You don't stop till every square inch of manhood is covered.
Everywhere a splish splash.
So crack open an ice cold Bud Light, Mr. Way Too Much cologne wearer.
Way too much cologne wearer.
Hey, that thing got a Hemi?
You're about to find out.
Excuse me. Can I have my order, please?
Dodge Ram with the legendary Hemi. Loved by those who have one, dreamt about by those who don't.
Sweet.
Of all the innovations of the past 100 years, arguably the greatest are the forward pass and the ability to catch the forward pass. Introducing the Canon Digital Rebel, a 6.3 megapixel SLR with the revolutionary Digic chip and CMOS technology. The game has changed. The Digital Rebel, the culmination of 68 years of Canon know-how.
In 2 weeks, Bernie is after Homer.
Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God.
When Bernie Mac follows The Simpsons on Sundays.
My favorite day of the week.
Starting 2 weeks from tonight on Fox.
Fox NFL Sunday is brought to you by Bud Light. For the great taste that won't fill you up and never lets you down, make it a Bud Light.
Well, here's the proud Harrington family. Valerie there, the mom, and then Dad, of course, up here standing up. He's got the nerves working, looking at the magazine, trying to deflect what's going on down there on the field, and excited to watch their boy play.
Harrington will throw. Going down the middle of the field, a man wide open. Scotty Anderson. And Anderson will score just that quick. And Mom and Dad are happy now, Tim Ryan. 72 big ones.
Joey Harrington has always done a good job throwing the deep ball and hits this one right down the hash marks. Mom's is fired up. And she should be. And that's a strike. You make it happen quick. He's even got the E straight over there, cousin Joey. That's how you get yourself back into this football game and get the confidence going.
Jason Hanson will add another one. One play, 72 yards. And the Lions are back in this thing. So Joey Harrington, the #1 pick, #3 overall from Oregon, is good to be home.
Do you believe in Santa Claus?
Absolutely.
He helped me pick this out.
This holiday, how can you possibly thank the woman who always believed in you? A K Jewelers 3-stone diamond necklace would be a great start. And you can be assured of 2 things. First, that every K diamond is hand-selected for exceptional beauty. And second, that she'll absolutely love it.
Can I give you folks a lift?
Every kiss begins with K.
I should have gotten fajitas.
Ooh, fajitas.
Taco Bell's Fajita Grilled Stuffed Burrito. It'll make you regret getting anything else.
Should have gotten me fajitas.
Fajitas. Sizzling marinated carne asada steak and tasty fajita veggies. All wrapped in a flour tortilla and grilled to go.
I should have gotten fajitas.
Taco Bell's Fajita Grilled Stuffed Burrito. Nothing beats the sizzle when you think outside the bun.
From the studio that brought you Pirates of the Caribbean comes the next great ride. Welcome to the Haunted Mansion.
You know they have dead people in the backyard.
On November 26th, the ultimate holiday thrill ride begins. Eddie Murphy.
Dark spirits come forth.
Wait till I leave before the dark spirits come out.
The Haunted Mansion.
You have very beautiful children, Miss Evers. I kicked in some chromosomes, too.
Rated PG.
The new Braun Free Glider automatically dispenses a protective shaving conditioner, reducing the risk of abrasion, giving a clean, close shave. Braun, designed to make a difference.
Here's a long touchdown by Scotty Anderson there in the slot. Watch Ken Hamlin, who's been nicked all week. No reroute, no jam at all. You can't do that when the guy's running in between the numbers and the hash. No way does Reggie Tongue get there fast enough over the top. Now, when they were in a disguised coverage or whatever they were in, maybe there was a busted coverage or a mental mistake, but I'll tell you, you've got to get a jam when that guy's coming out of the slot.
72 yards for Harrington. That's the longest pass in his career. Bo Morris. Morris is out to about the 25-yard line before he's brought down by Doug Evans. So far, Tim Ryan, the home cooking has been real good for Joey Harrington.
What do people see in the new Chrysler Pacifica?
I see a woman who knows how to relax.
I see a man who knows where he's going in the world.
I see a painter, a parent, an individual.
I see a mom and a dad who are completely behind their kids.
Introducing the Chrysler Pacifica, well beyond the SUV.
And now with Sprint, unlimited night minutes instead of starting at 9, start at 7. And your calls are clear. Wait till I tell them about the nationwide network.
Now with Sprint, on any new service plan, you can get 2 more hours of weeknight calling. See anything?
Hold up.
Bingo. Down.
That's one way around holiday blackout dates. The Capital One Miles One card is a better way. Fly any major airline anytime with no blackout dates.
What's in your wallet? I know where you live!
Fox NFL Sunday is brought to you by Chrysler Pacifica, well beyond the SUV. By Sprint, proudly offering picture mail and PCS Vision picture phones. By Capital One, what's in your wallet? And by the new Braun Free Glider. Braun, designed to make a difference.
Joey Harrington doesn't need that warm bench because he's on fire right now with that 72-yard touchdown pass to Scotty Anderson.
Yeah, and put a good drive together, a quick drive. All it took was 2 plays. As you see there, the fat hookup. And I'll tell you, Joey maybe played his best game as a pro last week in terms of reading defenses and making good decisions. A perfect one there.
The throw inside to Robinson, and Robinson is out to about the 41-yard line before Brian Walker brings him down. And early this morning out of Portland and Eugene, Oregon, Joey Harrington's family got on the buses. And we're not talking about little school buses, little yellow buses. They got the real deal.
Well, they got the Krispy Kremes. That's all they needed. Ready for the party, for the drive up.
Hit a little bit of weather.
There's
came in full force.
But they've done a great job, those parents, with Joey Harrington. Talk about a guy that's in his second year in the league that acts like a guy that's been around 6 or 7 years.
And that's the end of the first quarter. The score, Seattle 14, Detroit coming back with 7. Fox NFL Sunday from Seattle will continue after these messages.
Why do I rent from Enterprise? Because having the right car or truck makes all the difference. Sweetheart, your honey-do list just got a little bit longer. Sorry.
Pick Enterprise. We'll pick you up.
This Tuesday,
I've got to get married?
Santa's got to find a Mrs. Claus. Tim Allen.
I don't think there's a woman out there that doesn't want a piece of this.
The Santa Claus 2. Own it on Disney DVD and video this Tuesday.
You're watching the NFL on Fox.
Well, listen, I gotta go, but my love to the wife. All right.
How's your friend in New York?
Doing great, ma'am. Thank you.
Good.
Could I call my mom?
Sure.
She's in Florida.
That's nice.
Say goodbye to worrying about long-distance bills. Introducing SBC All-Distance Service now in Michigan. Unlimited nationwide long-distance local service and more guaranteed. And for a limited time, it's just $43.95 a month. One more way, we bring it all home.
People are strange, they'll surprise you. Looks can be deceiving, in fact I found true. I stare all day, people watching's key. But wait a second, they're checking me. So what if my McGriddles get some looks? It's like a breakfast buffet and the flavor cooks. 2 griddle cakes, egg, cheese, and bacon. The taste only McDonald's is making. I'm loving it, McDonald's.
You know, I'm in pretty good shape. You could be eating my dust all day, slowpoke. And you might be. Well, let's hope it doesn't come to that.
14-7 as we start the second quarter here in Seattle. Play action pass, Hasselbeck. He's 7 in a row. That's 8 in a row. He's got his tight end, Atula Mealy, a guy who they've been trying to get back into this offense.
That's right, and they want to get him 6 passes a game. There's Boss Bailey, the rookie we talked about in the open, now standing over there with a jacket on, trying to stay warm. So when we find out something on him, we'll get it out to you for sure. And there's got to be something wrong. That's their best playmaker right now defensively, standing over on the sidelines.
Wally Rainier, the 5th-year man out of Virginia, checks in his place. Pickup of 7, 2nd and 3. Hasselbeck checking off. A quick hitch to Jackson. Jackson has it, and he's going to run a little bit. And that should bring a round of applause from the Seahawks faithful.
Couple catches there for Darrell Jackson, getting his confidence up, and I like the way they're getting the ball to him. Second quarter has been huge for the Seattle Seahawks this year. 87 points, as you see there, tied for 2nd in the NFL. And Detroit, next to last, well, 30th out of 32 teams in points allowed in the second quarter. It'd be big if they can get a couple of stops here. And again, I like the way Mike is calling this game so far. Nice balance, run and pass, and getting it to Darrell Jackson.
Neely checks out, Ingram checks in. Alexander, he's got a huge hole. Alexander is inside the 30-yard line, finally brought down by Brian Walker.
Good double team here by Steve Hutchinson. Watch him get off, and they just push Sean Rogers out of the hole, and then you got the fullback there, Max Strong, delivering a nice shot. Now it's just a big hole. Sean Alexander's not going to hesitate. He's going to get up there and go north and south. That's been a criticism of his over the years, but he's got Max Strong in front of him. He knows he needs to get up on his rump and cut off in terms of that north and south style.
He got up on his rump for 13 that time. Play action, looking down the field, a deep comeback. There it is. Jackson, and Jackson is slowly getting his groove back. Doug Evans on the coverage.
These are the easy catches, the stops, the comebacks, and these types of routes to get your receiver in his groove. Now, Doug Evans has to respect his speed, gets him turned around, and that's easy for Darrell Jackson to get that ball. Matt Hasselbeck is on fire.
And they know Doug Evans very well. He was here in training camp, was recently cut. So they know what kind of routes to go against. 1st and 10. Alexander reverses field, gets a couple nice blocks, and he's down close to the 11-yard line. Going back to Darrell Jackson, he came out earlier. He tried gloves, dropped the ball. Took the gloves off, dropped the ball, went back and forth.
Yeah, he misses it there. It was raining pretty good before the game in warm-ups. Drops that one, says, all right, give me the gloves. I'm going to try it this way. All right, got that one. Little slant route. Uh-oh. Maybe I better take these gloves off. Forget it. I'm going old school. Just going to go out and catch the football. So far, so good for Darrell Jackson.
A pickup of 2, 2nd down and 8. Hasselbeck with Alexander. And Alexander shuts it down. Tackle on the play by Doug Evans. And Jackson had been outstanding coming through the later part of last year and into this year, and all of a sudden it just hit.
He's been one of the better receivers in the history here of Seattle in terms of how he started his career, and 17 yards a catch today, and that's about what he's been averaging for the year. I think the big thing is they're going to keep throwing it to him. They went and sat in and did a film session. They went over all of his drops. The head coach, his quarterback coach, his quarterback, Matt Hasselbeck, his peers, the other receivers, they're doing all they can to try to pull him through this slump.
This is 3rd and 7. Hasselbeck will run it. Ball's out, recovered in the end zone by Corin Robinson. No signal yet. Let's wait from our referee, Mike Carey.
Matt Hasselbeck.
A signal touchdown.
Yeah, touchdown, and he's going to do all he can now. He's going to lay out and try to get in. Now that ball gets popped loose by DeVries. Right place, right time for Corin Robinson. See Jared DeVries coming over the top. Definitely a fumble. Matt was still not down on the ground, and then Corin Robinson able to scoop that up for 6 points. That's twice now where Seattle has not got the ball knocked loose and been in perfect position to come back with it. Very good luck so far in this game for the Hawks.
And we've seen a lot of that from Matt Hasselbeck, taking it himself, doing the deal. And there's our fantasy pick. He's come up big already.
Yeah, and that's why Matt Hasselbeck's the leader of this offense. And he's really coming into his own here in year number 5. Hey, you thought Corin Robinson was your fantasy pick. He's already got a touchdown.
Not the way we expected, but he got it.
Those fantasy guys don't care. A TD's a TD.
This is Brown. He squeezes it in. And so Seattle, they answer to the big touchdown play by Harrington. They come right down the field and put one in.
A truck like this isn't built in a factory. It's built in the farms and fields, concrete streets and construction sites that map the landscape of an entire country. Because when Ford builds the new F-150, there are promises to keep. And only one truck earned the right to be the next F-150. If you haven't looked at Ford lately, look again.
I'm a little nervous about meeting your family. Did you just eat that entire box of cookies?
It's okay. We had Subway last night.
Subway's low-fat sandwiches. A variety of delicious subs, so you can feel good about being good and okay about being bad.
Hey, you're gonna get your grandpa, huh?
It's okay, I had Subway.
Oh, 2nd down.
Subway, good, so you don't always have to be.
It's coming.
It's about to get very cold in here.
The best movie of summer becomes the DVD of the year.
Oh, yeah.
Is that what this said?
X2 on DVD November 25th.
Hey, Bob. You get a new haircut?
No.
Hey, Bob. Hey. Did you lose weight?
Nope.
What's different? He finally asked his doctor about Viagra. Find out if a free sample is right for you.
Did you just talk to the doctor?
Yep.
Ask your doctor and see the difference.
Fox NFL Sunday is brought to you by Long-Lasting Energizer. Do you have the bunny inside? By Subway. Good so you don't always have to be. Subway Eat Fresh. By X2 X-Men United. Own it on DVD or rent it on video November 25th. And by the next Ford F-150, built Ford Tough.
So that was good news, bad news for Hasselbeck. 8-yard rush, fumbles, they recover it for a touchdown.
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 Touchdown,
so it ends
right?
up good news.
That's right. Another terrific drive that Seattle has put together, and it looks like they're trying to develop that killer instinct, Ron, that they talked about.
Winton at the 3, he's got a block. It's out across the 20. He's pushed out of bounds at about the 25-yard line by Reggie Tongue. 21-7 here in the second quarter. We'll be back.
Sometimes in the face of insurmountable odds, unlikely heroes are born. As precious seconds ticked away, you took an impossible amount of data and turned it into something impossibly good. You have the new Microsoft Office system. Victory is yours.
Wrangler 5-star premium quality denim. Wrangler, real, comfortable jeans.
Only one truck has the strongest, toughest frame of any full-size pickup. That truck is the new Ford F-150. It has a fully boxed frame with crossbars welded through the side rails, all of which gives you the highest payload. Only this truck earned the right to be the next F-150. If you haven't looked at Ford lately, look again.
When Lisa's elected class president, school will never be the same.
I call a student strike.
Are you crazy?
These are little kids, so take out your tiny baton.
It's the episode the school board doesn't want you to see.
This is the kind of troublemaking I expect from your brother. Cool, a blank check for mayhem.
The Simpsons, all new, part of a full hour at 8 tonight on Fox.
Steve Mariucci, first year with the Lions franchise. He says it's a little bit different than the 49er deal. Got a chance to keep some guys. Now in San Francisco, of course, they were losing up to 30 players a year with all the post-DeBartolo policy salary cap issues that had come down from the league.
Whole different story, though, there in Detroit than it was in San Francisco. I mean, when he first took over, they had some bona fide studs and leaders on that football team. They don't have that type of core group here.
Harrington will check it down, looking for Schlesinger. And he's down at about the 24-yard line. Let's check in again with James Brown down in Los Angeles.
Hey, Ron, take a look at Brett Favre, classic Brett Favre as they score here. A little shuffle pass to Tony Fisher. He takes it up the gut for the score. 10-3 Green Bay over Tampa Bay. And then take a look. Dante Culpepper back. What does he do? He throws. He's picked off by Mr. Buchanan. Philip Buchanan takes it 64 yards to pay dirt. And Oakland is on top of Minnesota 7-3 right now. Back to Ron and Tim.
All right, JB, thank you much. There's a look at the standings. Minnesota self-destructing. And that last play was incomplete to Schlesinger, so they'll go back. We'll start off with a 2nd and 10. Sean Bryson, he gets inside for a couple. He's a leading rusher with only 341 yards. That's not good. Here's a look at some of the other scores around the league. Some surprises, Tim.
Yeah, some real surprises. I think, first of all, this is the big one right here. Cincinnati on the prediction and the guarantee of Chad Johnson. They beat Kansas City there 24-19. Philadelphia with a huge win. That's number 5 in a row. And how about the Carolina Panthers right now, sitting at 8-2 and playing some good, tough football.
3rd down and 5. The incompletion to Schlesinger. A short run there of 5 by Bryson. Harrington's got to pick it up. The post corner route, well overthrown, intended for Scotty Anderson.
And that's what happens. You get in 3rd to medium to longs, and now that secondary is going to come up and press your receivers. Look, press, 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 all in man, and watch. Not one guy gets open. Watch him. Everybody's locked up. Harrington has nowhere to go with the football. And that right there is, yes, it's good coverage by the defenders, but you got to get some better personnel in your receiving core to beat man coverage.
Coverage that time by Willie Williams. Short punt line driver. That's Ingram. He's got a wall. No, he doesn't, and a flag is down. Tackle on the play by Dante Curry. Well, let's check out the flag. Our referee, Mike Carey, fill us in. Mike's from San Diego. He's coming up here from the south, and he's about to get frostbite.
There was no foul for illegal block in the back by the kicking team, number 58. The kicking team, that is illegal action. There is no foul. First down. Timeout.
So Wally Rainier, you won't get a negative when they grade the film on Monday. We'll come back with the Seahawk offense right after this.
Life got simple the day I plugged into the big brown machine. West Coast overnight, done. China, 48 hours, done. Brown picks it all up together and delivers it all on time. And with their global tracking system, I get the proof. It isn't that I'm not a trusting person. Yes, it is.
International Overnight Ground. Synchronized. UPS. What can Brown do for you?
Your boss expects a report in 1 hour. But it's a gorgeous 74 degrees outside. So, you handle it like a true professional. With a laptop powered by Centrino, Intel's mobile technology, you can work wirelessly in thousands of places, even Bryant Park, under your favorite tree. Intel Centrino mobile technology.
Mom! Hey, Mom, I'm out of here.
You're a two-car family, and you're one car short. Now, your State Farm agent can help with information on auto loans and leases, as well as competitive rates on auto insurance. Talk to your agent today. We live where you live.
Whose mom's driving next week?
Fox NFL Sunday is brought to you by UPS. What can Brown do for you?
Coming up this February, NASCAR returns to Fox for 17 weeks of high-speed thrills, bumper-to-bumper racing, and all the action you could ever ask for. Matt Kenseth, Tony Stewart, Jeff Gordon, Dale Earnhardt Jr. lead the world's best drivers when NASCAR returns this February right here on Fox.
I wonder whose year it's going to be in 04. Certainly Matt Kenseth this year.
Yeah, he's
in 03 on the NASCAR circuit. Absolutely. Consistency, the name of his game.
And here's a guy that's been consistent in the last 15 starts, Matt Hasselbeck. And that helps your game when you can hand it off. Not much there. Brought down immediately by Sean Rogers. Right now, let's go to the third member of our broadcast crew standing by on the sidelines, Amy Van Dyken.
Thanks, guys. You mentioned earlier that Boss Bailey was seen on the sidelines wearing a jacket. I was told by trainers that he's had a sore shoulder for a couple of weeks. It's aggravated again. His return to the game is questionable, guys.
All right, Amy, thank you. And Tim, once again, a ton of shoulder injuries on this team. We talked to Matt Millen just a few minutes ago about there, or early before the game.
Yeah, weird in terms of all the shoulder injuries they've got. Heck, all the injuries. They've had 12 free agents that they've signed up on this football team, Ron, since the end of training camp. That's amazing.
Let's go back down to Los Angeles. Check in with JB again. JB.
Hey, Ron, not a good day for Dante Culpepper. Take a look here. Hit by Napoleon Harris. Fumbles at the 1-yard line. Recovered by Oakland. Oakland capitalizes on that as Zach Crockett takes it across for the score. It is now a 14-3. Raiders lead. Back to Ron and Tim.
And the Lions will see Minnesota next week, and they might be catching them at the right time.
And they got to get a stop here on third down. This is huge. Get some momentum back. Put a drive together before half.
3rd and 10, empty backfield. The protection doesn't hold up. Hasselbeck runs. Here comes one from the back, and he'll go down. The coverage has to be good downfield, and that'll bring on the punting situation for the Seattle Seahawks.
Good coverage, good pressure by that defensive line up front. See, Hasselbeck, what he'll do, and this is, again, where he's come so far, is even under pressure, he's still looking downfield, trying to see the field, trying to get rid of the ball. Still to this point, now he's made up his mind he's going to run, but he's going to be smart. He's got a big guy tracking him, a big guy in front of him. He's just going to slide down, wait for the next series.
Sean Rogers brought him down. That'll bring on Tom Ruin. Standing at his 25, he hits this one nice. Swinton will just watch it sail over his head, and they get a nice bounce. Look at this. All the way down to the 2-yard line. Willie Williams, the cornerback, comes up with 2 big plays in a row. He had to stop on 3rd down, and now he hustles down and downs the punt. Special teams win.
We didn't just give the new Ford F-150 more horsepower. We gave it the most low-end torque. Why did we push farther than anyone else? So you could do more than anyone else. Only this truck earned the right to be the next F-150. If you haven't looked at Ford lately, look again.
At a time when endless forms and phone calls can come between doctors and patients, one company is bringing them back together, WebMD. More than 250,000 physicians use WebMD to determine insurance coverage, write prescriptions electronically, locate charts, and settle claims with 1,100 health plans. In countless ways, WebMD is helping doctors and patients to reconnect, and in the process, helping to redefine modern medicine. WebMD, modern medicine.
This Friday, the cat is out of the bag. Mike Myers, The Cat in the Hat, rated PG. Fox Tuesday brings you a special hour of comedy. That 70s show, followed by The Simpsons.
His cute little hands can't even fit around my neck.
Then, on an all-new 24, to protect his country, Jack Bauer will sacrifice the one thing he has left. Himself.
You'll be a fugitive. I understand, Mr. President. Move! This would be my last assignment.
Remember Bauer told you he's lying!
Open the cell blocks now.
Do it now!
An all-new 24. It all starts at 8/7 Central, Fox Tuesday.
We're back here in Seattle, 8:27 in the second quarter. Everything is right on the name. Now can Joey Harrington put together a long drive?
Now down 14 points, you're going to have to take some chances, but I don't know if you take them down on your own 2-yard line. You got to do some good, safe plays to try to get some breathing room for Joey Harrington.
They hand it off to Bryson, and that's nothing but a big pileup. Joey Harrington told us the other day that things haven't necessarily slowed down. He said they're still flying around a lot, but I feel more in control than I did last year and more comfortable.
Well, you look at his completion percentage, it's almost 10% up. His passer rating, much better, still not where he wants it. I think the thing with Joey Harrington, he's finally getting comfortable in this offense. Remember now, this is only his 2nd year in the West Coast offense. Most experts will tell you it's at least a 3-year process before guys start to pick it up. Mariucci says he's still got a long way to go, but is starting to settle in with all his reads and decision-making.
A pickup of 1 by Gary. He'll pass out of the end zone. Throws complete to Hakeem. And Hakeem is down at about the 8-yard line. And you make a great point, Tim, because every good West Coast offense quarterback I know goes through that period. Favre went through it. Steve Young went through it behind Montana for a little bit. And it's part of the deal. And Hasselbeck has gone through it here, probably the worse than anybody.
Well, and you can see Matt's in his 5th year, so he's had more time to look at this thing and really to kind of figure out what it's all about. It's very confusing, a very foreign language. I think one thing on Joey's behalf, first of all, Sherm Lewis is held over from last year's staff, and Steve Mariucci and Marty Morningwig, exact terminology and play calling.
3rd and 4, the rollout. He's got Hakeem. The ball is out, incomplete. Sean Springs, who lost his starting job and plays only on nickel, comes up with a big play.
And it's Sean Springs here who's going to end up getting the hit. A little rub-off route there as Hakeem gets outside. Looks like he's got it there. Hit and has not come down with the football.
That's Detroit's second 3-and-out today.
That was surely a catch, but before he got his feet and touched out of bounds, the ball was knocked loose. Good call by the side judge.
Not a good kick by Harrison. The ball is loose. The mad scrum is on. What do you do now, Tim, if you're underneath that pile?
Start pinching and squeezing and pulling.
Pinch anything, huh?
Absolutely.
That's why you
another bullet dodged by this Seattle football team.
Willie Williams. Willie Williams with the third big play already. The second on special teams. He comes up big.
Next.
This holiday season.
I said next, this is not the DMV.
If you're looking for a movie with warmth.
Every single thing about you is ugly.
Cheer.
Sweet Jews for Jesus.
And goodwill towards men.
Get him out of here.
What do you mean, get him out of here?
Got some lip on you, midget.
Yeah? Well, these lips were on your wife last night.
Keep looking.
It's not real.
Well, it was real. I got sick and all the hair fell out.
How'd you get sick?
I loved a woman that wasn't clean.
Oh, no.
Bad Santa. Rated R. In theaters Wednesday, November 26th.
Tuesday, December 2nd, hotel heiress Paris Hilton and Nicole Richie face their biggest challenge.
We totally can do this.
To live with the family on an Arkansas farm.
I've never seen roadkill in LA. What is that? It's a new belt.
Now they'll have to earn their keep.
Do y'all want to help me pluck some chickens? I'll vomit.
And learn how to share.
Here's the one and only bathroom. Could it get any worse?
Oh yeah, it gets a lot worse.
I'm not doing that.
The Simple Life premieres December 2nd on Fox.
Access NFL.com to vote for your favorite NFL All-Stars. The Pro Bowl ballot is online exclusively at NFL.com.
Such a poor punt by Nick Harris that doesn't even get back to the return man and Bobby Ingram. Chris Richard, who's the up back, has to come down with it. As you see there, 42 ends up muffing it. And then now watch Bobby Ingram. This is what you're supposed to do. Everybody's trying to get in on that. Bobby says, not you. Grabs Jacoby Shepard and pulls him out. See, guys try to scrum in there and get their hands on the ball. Good job by Ingram pulling him off.
Terrence Holt checks in at the left cornerback position for the Lions. And here's Bobby Ingram wide open. Touchdown, Seahawks. 34 yards. And the Seahawks are striking quick today. And he's got the sprinkler going.
Yeah, there it is. He'll always give you the sprinkler when he gets into the end zone. And watch him here coming out of the slot all the way across the football field, running through zones, and nobody matches up with him or picks him up. And that's just too easy for Bobby Ingram. Terrence Holt, nowhere to be found over on the other side of the field, matching up with the guy once Bobby Ingram came in his zone.
And that's Bobby Ingram's longest pass play and touchdown play of the season, 34 yards. Josh Brown comes on to make it one more.
See, Detroit's been playing nothing but zone coverage. They don't have the personnel right now to play man, so they've got guys sitting back here in the 2 deep. Watch Bobby Ingram just come and filter all the way across the formation, and now there's nobody back to pick him up. Terrence Holt got bit up on the short flat route, and Hasselbeck says, oh yeah, that's fun.
Holt didn't get his depth in that cover.
Not at all. Not at all. Got sucked up by that flat receiver, and there's the sprinkler. As if it's not wet enough here in Seattle. The rain has stopped. He's going to spray everybody after the touchdown catch.
Does that give away your age? I mean,
you and I know.
That was
I guess it gives us away since we recognize the sprinkler because we were doing it back in the day.
Yeah, that was definitely a 80s dance, dude. But it doesn't matter when you win it. And there's a look, the first 5 possessions.
We're going to give them a big K-I, killer instinct.
Right.
It's exactly what Mike talked about. And, I mean, come on.
And look at the yards.
5 drives, 4 touchdowns, and long drives.
Yeah, they went over 73 times. Bad kick. Josh Brown has had a problem with that all year. Swinton going to come away with a decent return. He's out close to the 30-yard line, where he's brought down by Mr. Special Teams, Willie Williams. Well, on Fox tonight, don't miss the show that critics are calling hysterical, sophisticated, and the season's best new series, period. That's Arrested Development. Tonight, right after Malcolm, 9:30, 8:30 Central, right here on Fox. The Lions defense might want to consider where their development is at after looking at that play drive by Seattle.
They just are so beat up. I mean, their personnel, their injuries that they've had on that side of the ball, no continuity, and hard to play defense back in the secondary when you've got new faces shuttling in and out.
1st and 10. Play action. Harrington pressure. Finds his man. That's Bryson, and Bryson is knocked down immediately. Orlando Huff on the tackle, and the Seahawks defense, they've flat gotten it done so far.
Yeah, they have. They've been all over the place, and really one big play, and that was the touchdown to Scotty Anderson. Other than that, really nothing, and that's the challenge that was put forth to these guys. I mean, this team has lost 2 of the last 3 games, and Ray Rhodes, the defensive coordinator there, said they haven't been playing the disciplined football. They've gotten away from it a little bit. His favorite word is accountability. Play your position first, and so far, the guys are doing what he wants.
2nd down and 6. Alandis Gary. Brought down by Ken Hamlin. He's close to the 1st down marker. He may have gotten it. And he does. He picks up the 1st down. And what did John Randall call Ray Rhodes?
How long has John been around? 14 years, been in this league forever. We said, have you ever played for anybody like Ray Rhodes? What's it like? He says, it's crazy, man. I said, who does he remind you of? He said, oh, he's a cross between Tony Dungy and Richard Pryor.
That's one heck of a cross.
Whoa.
A pickup of 8 by Gary. This is Gary again. Gary brought in on a trade from Buffalo this offseason. 5th-year man out of Georgia. Only had 1 carry last week against Chicago. And, you know, he had the big years in Denver.
I thought he'd be much better. When they got him from Buffalo and they had their injuries and their situation at the running back position, I said, Olandis Gary is going to be big. He hasn't been, and there's Randall Godfrey, the middle linebacker here, who's had some problems with some injuries in his neck. Now he's got his shoulder pads off, and he's got something, it looks like, in that chest, and Isaiah Kazavinsky filling in for him here right in the middle.
2nd down and 8. Harrington lets it fly. That's Ricks, the backup tight end. And he's out of bounds at about the 41-yard line.
See, now, right now, if I'm the Lions, I really try to exploit and attack the middle of the field for Seattle defensively. And they've got backups now at the interior line with the injuries, and Rashad Moore getting the job there inside. Cedric Woodard getting the job there inside. Now you've got Randall Godfrey, who's out with a neck injury or another chest injury. Ken Hamlin, the safety, dinged up coming in. I mean, here's where you need to attack that defense, right in the middle of the field.
Let's see if Joel Harrington does it. 3rd down and 8, trips to the left. The pressure, he's tripped up, and he goes down. And the man that just came in the game, Isaiah Kazavinsky, trips him up and forces the punting situation.
Nobody blocked Kazavinsky coming in from his Mike linebacker position. Right here, Eric Beverly tries to get to him, but not close, and he forces Harrington to get rid of that football. Kaz has had an ankle injury, but the thing's pretty healthy. He's showing some pretty good wheels.
Last year, Kazavinsky was the starter. Ray Rhodes comes in, switches things around, brings in Godfrey. They sit him down, but he comes up big there. We've got flags down.
5-yard penalty remains, 4th down.
Legal procedure on the Lions. They'll march him back. And Nick Harris has not been able to get much hang time today.
The wind, I think, has something to do with it. The wind's howling pretty good out there and has not punted very well. You're right.
Plus, it looks as though he's kicking against that wind. I know Tom Ruin had kicked a nice one earlier, and you can see the flags on top of the goalpost. They don't lie, folks. That's the worst thing a punt returner or a punter can see.
There's a good one.
Ingram catches this one at the 16, and there goes Bobby Ingram. All he's got to do is beat the punter. 1 man left. Bobby Ingram will score. 83 yards.
Boy, you can see that develop right from the get-go. Bobby Ingram just hits this thing right up the gut, outruns the kicker, and then does a great job of shaking off Brian Walker on the sideline, staying in bounds. The killer instinct that we were looking for from this football team, because their head coach, Mike Holmgren, said they would utilize it, they would go for it. Everything has gone right for Seattle today. And that's what you need at this time of year. Getting into mid-November, running into December, now is where you make your run if you want to do something in the playoffs.
34 points, and we're not even through the half yet. An offensive explosion for the Seahawks, and yes, it's okay to do the sprinkler, Bobby, the way you're playing.
Forget the sprinkler, man. The floodgates have opened up. And a good punt here by Nick Harris. I mean, he bombs it. He gets good hang time. But it's just terrific blocking. Chris Richard doing a great job on his guy. Now it opens up in the middle. Dante Curry does not break down at all. And Bobby Ingram says, see you. Now, here's the big part of it, right? Well, he shakes off the kicker there. But what he does to Brian Walker on the sidelines is what allows him to get into the end zone. See, Walker's coming there, number 45. Bobby does a little hesitation. Whoop! Now he's going to turn it back on. Stays in bounds. Touchdown.
47-yard punt, 83-yard return.
Oh, there's the sprinkler. He's loving it. How good has this guy been, Ron, since he's come over? I mean, really, since he came over from Chicago a few years back, and he's earned more playing time. We talked about Atula Mealy and why he's not on the field and being the guy. Well, it's because Bobby Ingram has played so well in that three-receiver set out of the slot.
He might be a lot of people's American Idol right now.
Bunch of people
here
in Seattle. Yeah,
that's right.
I'm thinking the same thing.
Like I said, special teams wins. This is Brown to kick off. His kickoffs have been terribly short, much to the dismay of Mike Holmgren. Swinton. Now he's looking for some of his. Swinton, Reggie Swinton, as flags go down, and he's out to the 40-yard line. The kicker brings him down. He helps him up. Let's see what we've got. Swinton started off in Dallas and broke all of the Dallas Cowboy return records. And they had some great ones down there returning the ball.
And you can see he's not happy about this. It's against
them. Holding by the receiving team, number 58. The 10-yard penalty. They retain possession. First down.
Wally Rainier is called for the hold.
Well, now you just gotta come out and light it up. I mean, forget about safety first football, paying caution-free football. Go out there and light it up if you're Detroit on offense. I mean, 35 points scored, most in the first half this season by Seattle. Clearly, Detroit is not in this football game. Start opening it up. I mean, take some chances down the football field with your quarterback. Try to develop something. I mean, anything can happen in this league. Still a lot of football left to be played. We saw what Indy did to Tampa earlier this year on Monday Night Football. That should be an example and a lesson for everybody involved in this game, that you never say die no matter what the score is.
First and 10 for the Lions. Schlesinger, he's got it across the 35 and down at about the 37-yard line. Let's go back down to the sideline and check in with Amy Van Dyken.
Thanks, guys. I'm down here on the Seahawks sideline, and Randall Godfrey came out of the game a little bit earlier. I was told he had a bruised chest, and his return is questionable, guys.
All right, Amy, and it looks as though they are taking him into the locker room right now. That is not the walk of a man who's going back out to the field.
No, but it's, you know, that's not a man that's been healthy the last 3 weeks anyway. Right. His numbers, production-wise and tackles, have been way down because he's been dealing with a neck injury. Comes in and plays today, and now he got dinged in the chest.
Pickup of 8, third down and 2. The ball's loose. That ball caught by Schrader, or was it? They call it a catch and a down by contact.
The ruling on the field was a forward progress had already been stopped before the ball came out. First down.
Forward progress already been stopped right there as that ball gets knocked loose. The whistle had already blown. That's dead ball.
Initial hit there on the play by Marcus Trufant, the rookie out of Washington State. They'll throw the screen. That's Bryson. And Bryson trying to get close to the 50-yard line. He's tripped up by Hamlin along with Trufant.
Been really impressed by the way these guys have played defensively, Ronnie, today. And Ray Rhodes, their defensive coordinator there, has to be happy with the exception of the one big play to Scotty Anderson. These guys have settled in, and you can tell they're drinking the Kool-Aid. They're buying it, what Ray Rhodes is selling.
That's the 2-minute warning. We'll be back.
Fox NFL Sunday is brought to you by Miller. There's good enough and there's better than it has to be. Miller, good call.
At Miller, we brew great tasting beer because you can get in line and take what they give you, or you can make your own choice. Miller, good call.
Minivan manufacturers love to brag about how large an object their vehicles will carry, but most of us usually deal with objects the size of groceries. Freestar Storage Well does a great job of containing small objects like that. Without this well, you're going 45 miles an hour, get after the brakes, you're slowing down, but your can of cream corn's still going 45. This is just one more innovation that proves that Freestar is a very smart vehicle.
The all-new Ford Freestar. If you haven't looked at Ford lately, look again.
Ronnie, this is going to hurt. An injury to Scotty Anderson, their only playmaker today. Watch that left lower leg as Sean Bryson rolls up on it. Right there, and Scotty Anderson is in a lot of pain. He's laying down and was pointing to that thing, says, get me off the field. They came out and got him, and he hobbled off. So, again, their only big playmaker offensively today. And playmakers are not at a premium in Detroit. They haven't had any all year long, guys that are playmakers, and it's been a big thing that Mariucci has missed. A whole different story than what he had at San Francisco when he went in and took over that franchise.
And Swinton, the return man, will check in his place. He's at the top of the screen along with Schrader. It's a 2nd and 4. They run the ball. A breakout by Bryson. And Bryson is inside Seattle territory down close to the 30-yard line. Reggie Tung finally brings him down. Coming up at halftime, it's the Visa Halftime Report. All the scores and highlights with JB, Terry, Howie, and Jimmy. Plus the Fox Sports Ticker. That's the Visa Halftime Report. Coming up next.
I don't care what you say. These guys have got to get points here in the last couple of minutes of this ball game. And that is ugly. Look at those stats.
Ooh, a pickup of 20 by Bryson. The quick slant. They throw it and catch it. Azahir Hakeem. He gets a little closer as Harrington goes into the no-huddle, hurry-up offense.
Well, the clock is rolling, as you see here. I mean, there's a $1:24 here now left in the second half, or in the first half.
Bryson again. There's a problem with the stadium clock here. In the meantime, the Lions have called timeout.
Yeah, the stadium clock's been stuck on 2 minutes, and realistically, they're down to a $1:16 here in the second quarter left.
You got a second hand on your watch?
There's the clock that's working.
This is why you always have to have a stopwatch in the booth.
I try not to keep stopwatches around myself, Ron. That was my worst nightmare. That was it. Look at this. Look at the ball control and time of possession. I mean, and that's not good, because if you're Detroit, what you want to do is you want to be on the other side of the coin. You want to be winning the time of possession, because while you're doing that, you're keeping all those weapons offensively for Hasselbeck and Darrell Jackson and Sean Alexander and Corin Robinson and all those guys. You're keeping them over on the sidelines the longer you can control the clock, and that's what you want. You want all these guys sitting in jackets just chilling over there.
Yeah, they've been chilling, but in a different kind of way. Like as in
the end zone.
Yeah, we've got 35 points up. Mike Holmgren let this crew have it in the San Francisco game on a Sunday night here. Things were not going good. He got them all together and really chewed them out. And he started with number 8.
Started with his quarterback, and he's very happy with the development of Matt Hasselbeck here in Seattle, really. And it looked ugly at first, but he's certainly come along.
Bryson along in the backfield, 1st and 10. Caught Hakeem, and Hakeem is down to about the 14-yard line. Let's see where they mark it. Clock is still running. They'll be running when they set it here.
Ron, I understand they're taking what the defense has given them, but I think you need to dictate right now and hit the middle of that field. Isaiah Kazavinsky, backup linebacker out there. D.D. Lewis, backup linebacker out there. Find something in the middle.
Harrington tried to go to Schrader, but he pulled it down. You know what? That might have been a pretty good choice, because last year I think Joey Harrington would have made that choice and threw an interception.
Yep, and he does. He's making much better decisions this year. Nobody open down the field. He's still looking, trying to get to his next progression. Now with Randall in his face, the 7-time Pro Bowler, he needs to do it. But watch, everything is over here on the sides. There's nothing here in the middle of the field for Joey Harrington to look to.
It's Hakeem in motion. 3rd down. Going to the end zone, and Hakeem. Touchdown, Lions. Great catch by Azazir Hakeem. And that's why the Harrington family showed up. Joey is not disappointing.
That was just a beautiful throw and catch. Joey Harrington finding his guy, winning man coverage. Oz Hakeem on Sean Springs, running a corner route. Ball put in perfect position. Hakeem able to go up and get it.
So the Lions keep on fighting. 15 yards. Harrington to Hakeem. And Hansen, the Washington State product. He will try to add another one, and he does. So that'll look a little bit better going in at halftime.
Oh, that's huge. I mean, get some momentum before you go in. And here's Oz coming out of in motion. Joey's focused on him the whole way. In the man coverage, he's not looking anybody off. It's just a terrific throw and catch. I mean, Springs in decent position, but you're not in good enough position if the quarterback's going to put the ball in there like that. And Joey Harrington jacked up, as he always is when he throws a touchdown pass, gives the full sprint into the end zone. Keeping these guys fired up and keeping their heads into the football game. This is the type of game, Ron, the way this thing has transpired here in the first half, that you could just put the head down and say, forget it. Here we go again. This is one of those games. Joey Harrington will keep fighting till the bitter end.
Tim, here's a guy that has not forgotten where he came from. He spends plenty of time back in Oregon, back in the hometown of Portland. Donated up to $250,000 to his high school. Built a bunch of new buildings and stuff like that. Gave money to Oregon. Did a lot of stuff.
Well, and you remember when they drafted him, it was between him and Quentin Jammer, and Matt Millen and some of the other guys thought they may have wanted Jammer. I think now they're convinced they picked the right guy in that draft in Joey Harrington.
The ball flew off the tee, and we talked about the wind here in the stadium. Check it out. I don't feel like being kicked right now, thank you.
That's how those kicker balls are, man. They're peculiar. You know what I mean? You never know what they're thinking.
You know what that little ribbon on top of the goalpost is thinking.
Not only is the ribbon blowing, but the goalpost is blowing. So it's howling pretty good down there, and it's colder down there on the field than you think. The wind's kicked up pretty good.
That's a nice kick by Hansen. Mo Morris at the 1. Morris is hit hard at about the 23-yard line. Terrence Holt in on the tackle. Don't forget, coming up, it's the Visa Halftime Report. All the scores and highlights. JB, Terry, Howie, and Jimmy are standing by. Plus, it's the Fox Sports Ticker.
I can't emphasize enough how important that was for them to go out and get some points. And now Mariucci will take him in at half, and in third quarter, second half, Seattle has not been that type of team where they can really explode on somebody. Now I'm sure they'll try to change that here today, but it's still looking okay for Steve Mariucci.
And you hold on to the guys. You don't go in down 35-7 and try to give some Newt Rockney speech to get everybody going. That doesn't work. Mo Morris trying to get it worked out. He's out across the 30, close to the 35-yard line.
Timeout. Seattle.
Seattle takes a timeout. That's their first. And as Mike Carey said, that'll be a quick one.
What they're going to try to do, Ron, and what Mike's going to try to do is take another shot, get this ball in position, either A, long shot where you're in position to kick a field goal, which I don't think they'll do, or B, get it down, somewhere around midfield on an out route, somewhere down by the sideline, so you give your quarterback, Matt Hasselbeck, an opportunity with that Hail Mary so he can get it up into the end zone.
And then on the flip side of that, Tim, you do not want to have anything stupid happen down here.
No, you don't take a high-risk play here down the middle of the field trying to throw it down the seam or anything like that. In fear Detroit gets a turnover and either runs it back or drops in another field goal and even gathers more momentum going into the half.
And that's what it's all about for Detroit. They come out here with momentum. They've won 2 games in a row. Haven't done very well on the road, but today is a perfect time to change that. Hasselbeck, plenty of time down the middle of the field. Tim, you said
Don't like it. Don't like it.
It should have been intercepted by Corey Harris.
Corey Harris had one, and if he would have just picked that ball off and caught it, he had so much open real estate in front of him. I think anything down the middle of the field. Now they're trying to get to Mealy in double coverage. You got Barrett Green on him. Now you got a safety, Corey, coming over the top. Super lucky that ball wasn't picked off, because if it was, like I said, all the real estate, there's no doubt Corey Harris gets into field goal range for his football team. Don't like the play call there by Coach Holmgren.
I wouldn't be surprised if he ran it right now. There it is. Alexander.
Ooh.
Alexander's popped hard. Doug Evans coming up with the hit. Timeout called by Seattle. They've got one left.
Another 30-second timeout.
How about the first half Matt Hasselbeck has put together? You talk about being on fire. He is, and I think it's been a little bit easy for him today, because Detroit defensively, they're not doing anything in terms of disguising coverages, throwing man, throwing zone. It's nothing. They're in a zone every time, whether it's 2, whether it's 3. They're sitting back there in the zone, and Matt has had a field day. I mean, he's got guys, Ronnie, that can go down and sit in that zone, and you know how it is. I mean, you're a former defensive back. When an offense knows what you're playing just about every time, that makes it so much easier for them. There's no guessing. They're dictating what they're doing to you. And if Hasselbeck and this offense can dictate and control the tempo, you're not going to stay with them.
And they haven't gone into any man coverages because they don't feel they can get the kind of pressure they need to protect man
That's
coverage.
right. And they don't have the personnel to cover guys with all the injuries that they've had back in the secondary. The last 2 games before this one, Chicago, a couple of weeks ago, 4 zone coverages in 2 games.
3rd and 3 movement by the Lions. Hasselbeck's got a free one. Shoots, scores. No, he doesn't. Jackson couldn't hold on.
Thought he was throwing the hockey puck there for a second, Ronnie.
That time of season, too.
Getting it cranked up.
That's what they need in the NFL, boards, so they can slam somebody up against the boards.
Matt took a shot in the nose there.
Offside. Defense, number 98. The enforcement results in a first down.
Kalimba Edwards.
There it is. He was already, it looked like he was lined up in the neutral zone. It took a little flinch, and there's no doubt he had his head across. Job by the center, Robbie Tobeck, snapping it when he was fouling and sitting in the neutral zone.
Boy, penalty yards clean for Detroit. Seattle, like you say, Tim, they are clean, and they're showing it on the score. So that results in a 1st and 10. Hasselbeck with more time. Now he shoots and scores. And that's Corin Robinson. And Robinson is close to another first down. The clock is shown expired. They tried to call one final timeout. I don't think they got it off in time.
Before the clock ran out.
Yeah, they got it.
There's 1 second left on the clock. Timeout.
And look at this. It's a timeout by
Detroit's
Seattle.
in the locker room already.
Detroit, half the players are up the tunnel.
More than half. More than half.
There's some guys that are going to be in the John. They're going to have to come out.
Yeah, especially the defensive players. You better get back on the football field.
Called timeout.
Look at Eric Beverly. He says, what?
First down.
Luther Ellis. Now this, defensively, you better get back out on the field.
Carl Mock, the offensive line coach.
That's it. We're going in. We're taking it in. Now they're coming back. What's going to happen here is Matt Hasselbeck is going to have one more shot to put it up top. That says, we got one more play. We got a timeout. Let's go. Whoa, whoa.
Well, Tim, our Fox cameras were all over that.
Let's go. Look at him. Come on. Warren Robinson should have got his butt down earlier is what he should have done.
Yeah.
And Mike knows it. Steve says, no, let's go in. Time expired. We'll give these guys another shot. They're winning by 21 points. Let's go.
So the Seahawks will send 3 to the right and 1 down at the bottom. They'll try to throw one up. They'll go to the opposite side. No, they won't. They'll come back to the 2-receiver side. And it's knocked down. Incomplete pass. And now the half is in.
Something didn't go right for Seattle. Are you kidding me? That is almost a perfect first half for the Seattle Seahawks on offense.
And you're right, Tim. That has been a perfect Seattle first half. Detroit 14, Seattle 35. Fox NFL Sunday will continue right after this.
Get ready for the rush. NASCAR returns to Fox, February 2004.
The NFC's top teams square off as Davis leads the Panthers attack into Big D to take on Carter and the Cowboys. Fox NFL Sunday, next week, noon Eastern, 9 Pacific.
It's that 70s future fantasy.
Can I kiss the bride? Sure.
Damn it, Kelso. You don't French the bride.
And see Kelso become
Cedar Rapids' #1 anchorman.
That 70s show.
We have breaking news. I'm toasted.
Monday at 6:30, Fox 17. The field's down to 5, but there can only be one true Blue Lions fan. Go to WXMI.com, click the True Blue Lions fan icon, see the contestants, then cast your vote.
People want to be around passionate people. Tell me what's important to you. When you're passionate, you kind of care more. The new Huntington is about taking the time to care. It's down to making dreams come true. That's what Huntington stands for in West Michigan. We have put people before products. We can always be a banker, but for the first few minutes, you need to be a friend, and you need to be a listener. Our customers have a voice in our bank. We have been in the business for a century and a half of helping small businesses be successful in their dreams. Give us an opportunity to wow you.
Sunday, Sunday, see Big Eddie haul trees in his fuel injected Hemi Dodge Ram 1500. Sunday, Sunday, Big Eddie picks up stuff in his Hemi Dodge Ram. Sunday, Sunday, going fishing in a Hemi powered Ram. Monday, Monday.
You gotta stop.
Get $2,500 cash allowance or 0% financing, plus Dodge's powertrain limited warranty.
Catch Seinfeld, followed by Everybody Loves Raymond. Weeknights starting at 7 on Fox 17.
The Visa Halftime Report is brought to you by Visa. If you love the NFL, it's everywhere you want to be.
Well, welcome to those of you who are, unfortunately, if you're Detroit Lions fans, boy, 20 straight losses on the road. Look like they're heading for 21.
Brian Sapp skipping out on the field. Notice I said that. Brett Favre back. Hits Tony Fisher on the old shuffle pass. 5-yard touchdown, pack off and running over Tampa Bay. 7-0. Then Brad Johnson hit by Kabir Baja-Biamila. Ball fumble recovered by Barnett for the Packers. Ryan Longwell then nails a 31-yard field goal, and the Packs over the Buccaneers 13-6. Rookie of the League, National League Rookie of the Year, Dontrell Willis. The D-Train in the house, modeling Howie Long's jersey. Oh, Raiders. Oh, no. That ain't so. Dante Culpepper picked off by Buchanan. Philip Buchanan, 64 yards later. Touchdown. Raiders up 7-0. Uh-oh. Culpepper sacked by Harris. Costs up the ball. Raiders recover on the one. That led to Zach Crockett touchdown, and it's 14-3, Oakland over Minnesota.
With the win, Tony Dungy will become the first coach to beat all 32 NFL teams. Doug Flutie, 3 of 12, 15 yards and a pick. Not looking good as the Broncos are all over them. Peter Warrick, 114 yards receiving. Upset of the day, Bengals over the Chiefs. Chiefs have finally lost. Miami snaps a 2-game losing streak, beating Baltimore. Tennessee, for the first time in 7 games, did not score 30 points, but they win. Bills have lost 6 of 8 after starting 2-0, losing that one to the Texans. Tony Banks came in for the injured David Carr. Bears lose a heartbreaker to the Rams, who win at 23-21. Eagles have now won 5 straight and 5 of the last 6 against the Giants. Panthers saw Stephen Davis, the ex-Redskin player, win it with a winning touchdown there. And, Terry, you're going to have that one. Go ahead.
Saints final 20 points in that game against Atlanta, wins that football game.
And the Browns all over the Cardinals, 44-6. Which one of you guys want to start with this one here?
Well, yeah, Howie's expected me to pile on to Detroit, but really they're not playing that poorly. I mean, I know it's a bad score.
Don't try the okey doke.
But no, Harrington, 11 out of 17, 142 yards, 2 touchdowns.
Where was the stuff you had in rehearsal? That's what I want to hear.
0 turnovers. The only thing is they've run into a buzzsaw with Seattle. Seattle, 0 penalties, 6 or 7 on 3rd down, 300 yards total offense. Seattle obviously playing very well.
That's good. I like that. That's love both sides. That's very nice.
Scott Ackerson, our producer, told us not to make fun of Terry Bradshaw anymore, so we won't say anything other than some of you will go to local news.
Boys.
Others will come back to hear the blonde bomber go through his
Don't mess with a franchise.
Visa. If you love the NFL, it's everywhere you want to be.
From America's #1 show, the country's hottest singers rock the season like never before. Clay Aiken, Kelly Clarkson, Ruben Studdard, Tamira Gray, and many more. Don't miss all your favorite holiday classics, Idol style. An all-new special, An American Idol Christmas, Tuesday, November 25th on Fox.
Fox tonight, Lisa shuts down the school.
These are little kids. Take out your tiny baton. This is the kind of troublemaking I expect from your brother.
Whoa, a blank check for man.
On an all-new Simpsons, part of a full hour. Then Reese finds a diary, and he's falling in love with the girl who wrote it.
I need to have my own diary.
An all-new Malcolm, followed by Ron Howard's all-new Arrested Development.
You might want to find something a little stronger, Warden.
It all starts after a new King of the Hill, tonight on Fox.
The National Football League family is committed to supporting the courageous men and women serving in the U.S. Armed Forces in the Mideast. But the fight for freedom is not without loss. And the NFL urges you to join us and the Intrepid Fallen Heroes Fund in supporting the military families of those heroes who have sacrificed their lives in the service of our country. Please visit NFL.com/heroesfund and help support those families in need.
This is a local news update from Fox 17 News at 10.
Hi everyone, I'm Michelle DeSelms. Frequent flyers may have another option out of West Michigan. Muskegon County could be getting jet service. Earlier this year, Northwest Airlines promised to consider passenger jet service if Muskegon had 65% ridership for 6 months straight. Well, they met, even exceeded those expectations. Airport marketers say it's an easy sell.
It's a little bit more comfortable and a little more quiet, and people have a feeling just that they like to be on a jet more than a turboprop.
Airport officials will meet in Minneapolis this week to talk about the upgrade. The FAA promises the airport $500,000 if it's approved. With a backlog of items to be shipped overseas, sending a care package to troops in the Middle East is a challenge.
Over here, removable center console.
Up here, overhead console.
Power liftgate.
Power sliding doors.
CD player.
A DVD player.
You're good.
Yeah, I just bought one.
Get into new Chrysler Town & Country, America's best-selling luxury minivan ever during the Chrysler year-end sales drive. Get 0% financing for 60 months or cash allowances up to $4,000, plus our 770 powertrain limited warranty.
Hurry to your Chrysler dealer and see how good the best values in America can be. Hello?
Hey.
Hey.
What's wrong?
Nothing.
Nothing?
Nothing.
You and Paul?
Not so good.
Not so good?
Not so good.
Paul, huh?
Paul.
Jerk.
Fool.
Slacker.
Loser.
One eyebrow.
Beer gut.
Big time.
Best friend.
You too.
Love you.
Love you.
Go ahead, have the whole conversation. Introducing SBC Long Distance, now in Michigan. Add it to your SBC home phone service for just 5 cents a minute with no monthly fee guaranteed. One more way, we bring it all home.
Oh yeah. Meet McDonald's new Del Rio salad with taco spiced beef, mixed greens, cheddar jack cheese, crunchy tortilla strips, the Newman's Own all-natural salsa. It just doesn't get much better.
I'm loving it. Grand Cherokee, Liberty. You didn't try one of these, did you?
No. Maybe. They're tough to resist. During the Jeep year-end sales drive, get 0% financing or cash allowances and our 770 powertrain limited warranty on Jeep Liberty, plus a Columbia sportswear jacket with special Columbia edition vehicles. Hurry to your Jeep dealer and see how good the best values in America can be.
Get straight talk. Tonight on Fox 17 News at 10.
Rich Eisen hosts NFL Total Access, only on NFL Network.
We're at halftime here in Seattle, 35-14 all Seahawks. And really, Mike Holmgren talked all week long about opening up this offense. They did it not only passing, but they did it with some big runs. Sean Alexander had the big 55-yarder really to get things going.
Well, and that's exactly what Mike talked about all week long. I mean, having the mentality, Ron, to kick somebody while they're down.
Exactly.
And that's exactly what they've done. I mean, they started out and got some plays and got these guys down. You had the touchdown early on the draw by Matt Hasselbeck, which was beautiful. Then you got Sean Alexander coming off tackle there, punching it in. And Hasselbeck, again, this is a little bit of luck as he fumbles and Corin Robinson is able to pick it up. But they've got him down, and now they're kicking him. And you got the touchdown here by Bobby Ingram. The playmakers have come through big time for Seattle today. Bobby on a punt return brings this back for 6 points. That's the killer instinct that Mike Holmgren was talking about. They really needed this type of game. They haven't had one of these all year long, with the exception of week 2 at Arizona.
And the time of possession was huge. That's evened out a little bit for the Lions, but the yardage total, you can't lie about that.
But you can't. And passing, I mean, they're actually fairly even, as Joey had the big hookup, 72 yards for a touch to Scotty Anderson. But here's the most glaring difference right there. The running game, Sean Alexander, huge first quarter in this game, really set the tone for the Seahawks offensively, Ron. They've been dictating now throughout this game. Really has this Detroit defense back on their heels.
And we'll have to see how the injuries on the defense for Seattle affect them. Swinton. They've got a flag down already. I think the last 3 returns by the Lions, there's been flags.
That's just stupid there by Brad Banta, 82, out on the edge. The long snapper just pushing somebody in the back. And
easy on your Trojan now.
Well, you got to call it like it is, right?
Mike Carey has been busy on kickoff returns. That flag has come out of the pocket quite a few times.
There are holding plays, both of them on the receiving team. Holding number 82 is declined, and holding number 58 is accepted. 10-yard penalty. They retain possession. First down.
That'll push the Lions back. Let's go down to our sideline reporter, Amy Van Dyken. She caught up earlier with head coach Steve Mariucci.
Thanks, guys. I'm down here with Lions head coach Steve Mariucci. Coach Mariucci, you weren't very happy with the officials at the end of the half. What's going on?
I don't know.
They just gave him an extra second, but I guess they called timeout, so I suppose it's right.
How do you get this team ready to go in and play the second half?
Well, we gotta stop them. We got to make them punt once in a while, and we've got to sustain some drives. Right now it's a pretty lopsided score, but we got to settle down in all three phases and play some better football.
Coach, thank you so much.
Okay.
All right, Amy, thank you so much.
And he's absolutely right. They've gotten beat offensive, defensively, and special teams. All three phases the Seahawks have owned in the first half. Forget it, though. Take some chances offensively. Try to open this thing up.
Gary. He tries to take a chance inside, and he's hit hard by D.D. Lewis. And Detroit, well, they had some highlights in the first half, Tim.
On the big play here, 72-yard touchdown to Scotty Anderson on an injured Ken Hamlin, who has no chance. Scotty able to punch that one in. That was a quick two-play drive. And then Joey Harrington with just a dime out to Oz Hakeem. What a beautiful throw and catch for their second touchdown of the afternoon. And I think gathered a little momentum as they went in there at half.
Seahawks check in with 5 defensive backs. They rush Sean Springs. The screen, perfect call for the play, but great coverage there and a great play by D.D. Lewis.
And one of the backup linebackers that we've talked about, and these guys now have an opportunity to come in and play great. This is a second-year pro, D.D. Lewis. Watch him sniff out this screen. Talk about what Detroit did earlier on defense when you see a screen. Linebackers see it, you sniff it out, you go attack it. Good play there by D.D. Lewis.
And you got to block somebody. You got 3-on-1. Perfect call for the blitz. You got to get somebody blocked up front.
Individually, yeah, individually, just a super play there by 54 D.D. Lewis.
You can see the third down conversions today for the Lions. Third down and 9. The pressure inside again. They pick it up. Down the field for Ricks. And it's incomplete. Knocked away by Tongue at the last minute. He came over from the safety position.
Good job protection-wise, picking up the blitz. And then Joey Harrington finds him right out of the slot, Michael Ricks. Watch Reggie Tongue come bat this ball out. Boom. I don't know if Ricks would have caught it anyway, but Reggie Tongue made sure he didn't.
You think that Joey Harrington is getting rid of the ball faster than that?
I don't think so. I think he needed to unload that one quicker. I think there were some throws in the first half that he needed to unload quicker.
Another bad punt by Harris. Ingram's already returned one. Flags are down. He'll go down at about the 46-yard line. A 37-yard punt and a 9-yard return. Let's check on the infraction.
You don't want to come out and win on special teams. You got to kick the ball better than that. You got to get some hang time. If you're not going to kick it long, you better kick it high to give your coverage an opportunity to get down there in front of Bobby Ingram.
During the kick, holding by the receiving team number 50. It's a 10-yard penalty. They retain possession. First down, timeout.
That's the linebacker, Solomon Bates. The secondary for Seattle coming up big.
Enter Southwest Airlines take your team to the Super Bowl sweepstakes, and you could win a trip to the Super Bowl for you and 10 friends.
Oh, how'd he make the list?
Brother-in-law.
Naturally.
Enter at southwest.com/Super Bowl.
There's a feeling in my heart that I can't explain. Is this love? The look in your eyes I just can't explain. Is this love? I lose myself out to blame. So tomorrow, will you feel the same? Is this love? Is this love? Is this love?
With so many standard features, my car makes me feel like I'm a step ahead of the game.
The Camry LE, starting at $19,560.
This telecast is copyrighted by the NFL for the private use of our audience. Any other use of this telecast or of any pictures, descriptions, or accounts of the game without the NFL's consent is prohibited.
Fox NFL Sunday is brought to you by Toyota. Get the feeling.
(35-14) Seahawks back here in Seattle. Fresh off the third quarter.
This defense needs to do something, Ron, get a stop. They did not do anything right, really, in the first half against Seattle offensively. They had their will at what they wanted to do.
Mealy for a first down. Let's check in with James Brown down in Los Angeles.
Ron, Oakland, boy, they are really trying to fire it up here. Take a look as a handoff goes to Tyrone Wheatley as he takes it in for the score. 21-3 Oakland, and then Brad Johnson for Tampa Bay hooking up with Keenan McCardell. 3-yard strike, 4 plays, 65 yards, all knotted at 13. Back to Ron and Tim.
I think Mike McKenzie needs to get a haircut. It's now bad luck.
And nothing wrong here with the luck of Sean Alexander. That run should take him over the 100-yard mark for the 12th time.
The playmakers have been making their plays. Matt Hasselbeck, you see there, the numbers fantastic. Talked about him getting protection. He'll get it to his playmakers. Looky there, Sean Alexander. He's up over the C note now as he just went for about 5 yards there on that play. And then Darrell Jackson coming in with all the heat. Everybody talking about him with the drops. Nice first half for him getting in the groove.
Alexander again. Tackled by Earl Holmes. And for Alexander, as we're saying, that's his 12th career 100-yard rushing game, 4th this season.
Guess what? When he goes for over 100, this team wins. And he's right there at 103 yards, 15 rushes. They're 9-2 when Sean Alexander goes over 100 yards.
Seahawks are 5-0 this season when leading at the half. And unfortunately for the Lions, they're 0-6 when trailing at the half. 3rd down and 6. Stop routes inside. Hasselbeck is hit. Somehow he gets rid of it. That's Mac Strong. Mac won't have the first down. But, Tim, I got to ask you, when do they call in the grasp?
Well, that's the situation. I think it's the discretion of Mike Carey, the referee. But Matt Hasselbeck, I think a lot of it has to go to the quarterback. And he is so strong, a lot stronger than people give him credit for. He was going to pull out of that from Barrett Green. And you see all the off-season training that Matt Hasselbeck did. And the guy put in more time than ever in terms of his conditioning, in terms of his nutrition. And you can see it when he's out there, not only throwing the ball, but when he's going to scramble, he's not an easy guy to bring down.
If Mac Strong can only get 2, that won't be enough. This will bring on Tom Ruin. Standing at about his 37-yard line. Gets off a high kick. He had a good bounce the last time. Won't get any luck here. They'll roll into the end zone. That'll be the Lions' ball. 1st and 20. 35-14, Seattle.
Next, right.
My car makes me feel like everyone wants to be me.
The Camry XLE.
Steak and mushrooms.
He likes a little blue cheese.
I like skillet sensations.
They're back at Applebee's.
Eating good in the neighborhood.
You know, I dated a girl named Georgia. Had to break it off, though.
Come on.
It's about love, man. That's what it's
For
about.
when you need it most, our longest-lasting Energizer Max ever.
After that, I told myself,
Do you have the bunny inside?
I am not dating girls named after states.
So, Dan, do we have everything we need for this meeting?
It's all right here, sir.
Is your data backup as reliable as it should be?
Don't worry, sir. He told me everything.
Ours is. Bright Store Storage Software from Computer Associates.
On November 25th.
What do you want?
On the must-see DVD of the year.
Hang on.
X2, November 25th.
And folks, we want you to know that Mike Holmgren has been giving it to that microphone for the last 2.5 minutes.
Well, you said he was done after about a minute and a half. I said, no, he's not done yet. He took a big breath and then let it fly again to whoever he's talking to upstairs. I would imagine it's Gil Haskell, the offensive coordinator. Mike is not happy about that 3 and out.
This is Harrington, and he's happy about this pass to Bill Schrader.
He's still talking. He's still John. He's got his defense on the field, and here's Gil Haskell, his offensive coordinator. He may be talking to Jim Zorn there. No, Jim's talking to somebody else. He's on the phone.
Zorn's cool.
Zorn's on the phone.
Safe. Yeah.
He's talking to Matt down there on the phone, and Mike Holmgren letting Gil Haskell know, his offensive coordinator, that next series they got to pick it up. I mean, that's a nice job defensively for Detroit to come out here and get a stop and get their offense on the field. This is where you got to go, Ron, right in the middle of the field.
Gary still rolling. He's out past the 50-yard line into Seahawk territory. Finally brought down by Trufant and Tongue. A pickup of 28 big ones.
Good blocking here inside by the interior lineman, and then this is where you got to go at it. Right at the middle where you've got your backup linebackers and D.D. Lewis, who overplays it to one side, tries to spin back and get in on it. Olandis Gary, a good north and south runner. He gets what he can up the middle. Good plan there, and I imagine at halftime, Steve Mariucci went in and said, look, they got backup players playing in the middle of that defense. Let's do what we can by keeping it between the numbers.
1st and 10. Gary again, and he won't get much. And it's also a chess match on the other side for Sherman Lewis, the offensive coordinator for the Lions. He's trying to find a way to take advantage of the guys, as we look at him in the middle there, that are out inside for Seattle.
That's right. And again, they know that. They know when backups are out there, and you know, they try to exploit matchups and take advantage of that. I think a good thing for this Detroit offense is Sherm Lewis was a holdover from the Marty Morningwood staff, and he and Mariucci have a lot of experience together, coaching together up in Green Bay, and I know it's really helped out Joey Harrington in his process of getting better as a football player, the familiarity of Sherm Lewis.
Pickup of 2 on that last play. Harrington looking down the field. Flags are down, and that's knocked away beautifully by Springs. And Springs looked as though he was hurt. I think he's just mad that he didn't intercept that. But let's check out the flag.
Good protection here for Joey Harrington. They come with the overload blitz. Look at Schlesinger pick up Chad Brown like it's nothing. Joey goes through his progressions, tries to get it out to Schrader, and Springs with the closing speed comes and bats that one down. Actually, he wanted the pick.
Yeah.
And that's why he's laying on the ground and upset that he wasn't able to grab himself the interception.
And Springs broke his shoulder blade in training camp. They only thought it was going to be a 3-4 week deal, and he'd step right back in. But meanwhile, Marcus Trufant, the 1st-round pick out of Washington State, went nuts. They had to give him the starting role.
Defense, number 26. The 5-yard penalty, automatic. 1st down.
That's Ken Hamlin. And that's an automatic 1st.
You talked about the rookie Trufant. There's the other rookie, Ken Hamlin, and what he's brought to this defense has been tremendous. And he's trying to plead his case with the field judge. The rookie's got it all figured out. He's now explaining rules to the field judge. You like that? Look at him. Now he's going to go over to the line judge and try him.
Hey, Rook, let me give you some advice. It's over.
You know what's funny, though, is Reggie Tongue told us yesterday, we were asking him about Ken Hamlin, and Reggie's a longtime veteran out there, double digits in years, and he said, the rookie was coaching me up yesterday. So Ken Hamlin does get it in terms of what Ray Rhodes is trying to do on defense.
He's had some big hits this year. Don't be surprised if he ends up in the Pro Bowl. Harrington, play action, tries to go downtown, dumps it off to Olandis Gary. Gary won't get much. Orlando Huff on the tackle, pick up a 4.
Looked like he was looking over to his right side, and Hakeem matched up with Sean Springs there. Sean doesn't bite at all. He's just staying with it the whole way. A little slant and go. Call that the sluggo.
And Springs, his contract is up at the end of this year. They got to make a decision one way or another.
They got to make a real big decision, because what he's gotten paid, I don't know if his level of play has been up there. Now, again, the injuries, I think they're going to wait and see how he settles in here for the next 7 games.
The pressure, Harrington going down the field to the end zone, knocked away just who we're talking about, the rookie, Marcus Trufant, who, by the way, Harrington played against when he was at Oregon.
Yep, and he was up at Washington State, was Trufant. Time for Joey, and then look at Look at Marcus just come up and break on the ball. That's what he does best. He's able to adjust and turn and get his body where it needs to be, get his left arm up where it needs to be to knock that thing down. The guy so far beyond his years in terms of a cornerback in this league. No way does he play like a rookie. And I'll be surprised, Ron, if he's not in Honolulu.
Yep. And Harrington has to call timeout. A big 3rd down and 6 coming up for the Detroit Lions.
Rock, yeah, we're gonna take the rock. Right, the rock.
Whew. The Rock.
Yeah, the Rock.
It'll get you there. The rest is up to you.
What do you say we go warm up on that rock over there?
Yeah, the rock.
The largest, most powerful forerunner yet, with an available 3rd-row seat.
Okay, remember, we're just checking out prices.
So no matter what they say, we're not buying yet.
Right. What's running through your veins?
Ice water.
Right. Can't face it.
So with Circuit City's Price Match Plus, you're covered on price.
We'll take it.
Go ahead, take it. If you find a lower price within 30 days of purchase, we'll get you back 110% of the price difference. Circuit City, we're with you.
Nice game face.
You didn't even see it coming.
When quality matters, reach out. On the wireless service America trusts. AT&T Wireless.
This Thanksgiving,
Ryan, it's your brother. He's calling from jail.
while some return home to face the past, others are about to get in
For 16 years of my life, I have no women. Now I have 2.
way over their heads.
Summer, Anna, Zach. I always knew you were a late bloomer, sweetie.
The OC Thanksgiving, all new at 9/8 Central Fox Wednesday.
We're back. And that's the DBs talking to Terrell Austin.
There he is, right there, the secondary coach.
And they're trying to get it lined up and get it worked out because this is a huge 3rd down and 6 coming up.
Yeah, this is a big time play. 1 for 6 so far today on 3rd down conversions have been the Lions. Joey Harrington has got to get himself a 1st down here for his football team. This is big. Watch the middle of the field.
Harrington will run it, and he's going to get it. Great decision by Joey Harrington, and that's a big conversion here with 7:34 in the 3rd quarter.
Nice recognition by Joey Harrington, knowing that all of his guys are going to run their defenders off. They're in man coverage, so what you're going to get is you're going to get defenders all the way down the field. Look how far back all these guys are. And then now you've got all this real estate. All he's got to do is get there for the 1st down. Good recognition to know that he had the room to be able to go out and pick it up.
Boy, that post looked inviting.
It did.
I might have pulled the trigger on that bad boy. And then I'd be on the sidelines with an interception explaining it to the coach. 1st and 10. 7 yards on the pickup by Harrington. He goes inside to Fitzsimmons, the rookie out of Carroll College, who we said earlier has been the bright spot on this team. Had 2 big catches last week against Chicago on that game-winning drive.
This guy, yeah, they like him a lot. He's earned himself a starting position. Mariucci says when he gets a little more weight on his bones, he's really going to be a dominator. You talked about Carroll College in Montana. NAIA national champions. Played some 8-man football in high school. Heck, they chartered the whole town down here to come watch him play, about 120 people.
7 yards on the pickup. Play action. The check down. That's Steve Schlesinger. And Schlesinger is inside the 10-yard line.
Here's where you start to see the growth of Joey Harrington. Watch him look guys off of his check down. He knows he's going to Corey Harris in the check down. He's going to look left, going to look back right where he needs to go, kick it down to Corey Schlesinger, who drops it into the red zone of the Seattle defense. Love the patience right now of Joey Harrington, just taking what Seattle gives him defensively, and that's where he's come so far now in the last 3 weeks. He's not forcing things for the Lions on offense.
A pickup of 11. First and goal. He throws this one up. Tried to get it to Azakim, but it's incomplete.
Brandon Mitchell bringing the rush off the edge. Brandon just got the starting job a couple of games ago, and you'll see him there, the left end. Runs right into Stalker McDougal. Now he's just going to keep going. Good thing going for the upfield shoulder, forcing Harrington to get rid of that ball before his receivers could flash open. And they haven't gotten a lot of pressure on Joey Harrington, as you see. He's got the 6 hits and the 6 hurries. 0 sacks. The least most sacked quarterback in all of the NFL.
Second and goal. Quarterback draw. That will not work. Chad Brown saw it coming all the way.
Quiet game for Chad Brown so far. He has been the playmaker for this team on defense. And he's had a bad foot. He missed 8 games last year with the bad foot. He said the thing's killing him. He said it's actually killing him. He practices only on Fridays. And one thing I find that's amazing to me, all the years of football, 11 years as a pro, the years at Colorado, never, Ron, in his career had he taped up his ankles until the injury last week. And that, I find that hard to believe, but he says, no, never had I used tape until now when I've got this injury.
A loss of 3 on the play. The pressure comes, Arrington gets rid of it, and he took a shot. This could be roughing the passer.
Oh, and it is.
John Randall laid the hit on him.
It is. Mike Carey was right there to throw the flag.
Personal foul, roughing the passer, number 93, the difference.
Let's watch John right there. Comes on a pass rush stunt. Oh, no, I don't like that at all.
That's an automatic first down, half the distance to the goal.
I don't like the hit. The hit looked good, but driving him into the ground is where they're going to call. That, throwing all your weight on him, I don't like it. I don't like it.
Boy, this game has changed a lot.
John Randall's got 134.5 sacks in this league, and I'll bet you 80 of them have come just like that.
They've also got a flag in the end zone. Mike Carey has made the initial call and marked off the distance, and he's going to talk again.
There is no foul for illegal contact. The ball is already in the air. First down.
Yeah, the ball was in the air. So instead of a huge play and a timely play by John Randall, that ends up being a new set of downs now for the Lions.
And I don't like the call. I mean, they're going to call it, and it is definitely a point of emphasis in this league to protect the quarterback. And that's what they did there for Joey Harrington. But that was, to me, a picture-perfect tackle by John Randall. Did not come in with the crown of his helmet, wrapped up, and then just kept going. I mean, once you've delivered that shot, you can't stop yourself and hold up. He went down with his weight on Joey Harrington. They gave him the roughing the passer.
You can look at the balance there in this drive.
Big break there for the Detroit Lions.
Gary in the backfield. That'll be Gary. He jumps. Nowhere near the goal line. He'll be down at about the 3-yard line. And I tell you, Tim, if they score here, we're in new territory. And this is probably why Mike Holmgren was going off on the sidelines after that 3-and-out.
Well, he knew that Detroit went in with the momentum. He knew it and came back out and got a 3-and-out on offense. And Mike was upset, and Steve Mariucci says, okay, let's get it going a little bit. And you can tell Mike is just scowling over there now after this long drive by Detroit's offense. He is chomping at the bit. He says, let me get my offense back out on the field.
11-play drive for the Lions. Looking inside, Azakim, he can't hold on. Kim Hamlin is there, and Ken Hamlin has knocked a couple helmets off. That can make you a little skittish going in there.
I'm very impressed with the blitz pickup by these guys up front. They try to come with an overload blitz. Detroit's right there to pick it up. They've done a good job all year. Joey makes a good throw. Oz didn't come up with it.
They'll bring up a 3rd and goal. They go
fade over here.
Bryson. He can't hold on. It's high.
Wow. Look at the camera guy got taken out down there. The hammer don't care.
That's right. Pick up your tripod. Stand up.
Emmer says, I'll take out 47 in the green jersey. Here he is on Sean Bryson, man coverage. He plays it the whole way.
You know what? That's a matchup for the defense there.
Sure.
That's not a good offensive matchup.
He hadn't practiced, Ron, all week with the toe, with the knee. It was a game-time decision. And now 47 is probable for the rest of the game.
And here we go on 4th and goal. Flags are down.
You run out of time.
Prior to the false start, there was a timeout called by number 33 of Detroit. Their second.
Alandis Gary just got into TO. That was a big one.
You ever go horseback riding?
Are you kidding? Those things are huge.
What about motorcycles?
No way. You ever hang glide?
I'm scared of flying.
Surfing?
Way too dangerous.
Right.
No matter what you love to do, bring your Visa card. The card you know they'll take wherever your adventures take you. Visa, it's everywhere you want to be.
I should have gotten fajitas.
Ooh, fajitas.
Taco Bell's Fajita Grilled Stuffed Burrito. It'll make you regret getting anything else.
Oh, you should have gotten fajitas.
Sizzling marinated carne asada steak and tasty fajita veggies, all wrapped in a flour tortilla and grilled to go.
I should have gotten fajitas.
Taco Bell's Fajita Grilled Stuffed Burrito. Nothing beats the sizzle when you think outside the bun.
The man who did this was pure evil.
You're scaring her.
She needs to be scared, and so do you. I am looking for my granddaughter! Hold your breath right now!
From director Ron Howard. The Missing, rated R, opens everywhere November 26th.
Fox NFL Sunday is brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Friendly nonstop service all across the country. Southwest Airlines, a symbol of freedom. By Taco Bell, think outside the bun. By Visa, if you love the NFL, it's everywhere you want to be. And by The Missing, starring Tommy Lee Jones and Cate Blanchett. In theaters this November, rated R.
4th down, the 14th play of this drive. It's been 77 yards. And 2 defensive penalties have kept it alive.
Sure have, and the big one by John Randall, the late hit on the 3rd down. And here it is right here. I don't like it. Defensive linemen don't like it. Quarterbacks love it. Picture perfect hit. You saw where his helmet was. They didn't like the fact that he kept driving his weight and basically splashed Joey Harrington after that play. Keeps the drive alive. Now a huge 4th down for the Lions. 4 of 11 this year on 4th down.
4th and goal. Incomplete. Ken Lucas on the coverage. So that was a whole lot of to do about nothing.
On the road and stuck trying to get business email in all the wrong places? Get Verizon Wireless Remote Email Access. Stay productive and in touch when you're away from the office.
Can you hear me now? Good.
Now ask how you can save up to $200 on select wireless PDAs and BlackBerry devices.
Verizon Wireless. We never stop working for you.
With a 140 horsepower engine and responsive handling, we put the fun back into the compact car, the Saturn Ion. Finance a new 2004 Saturn Ion 1 with air conditioning and CD player for $179 a month. See your retailer for details.
Great teams are often forged over the hot coals of adversity. the eve of the big meeting, the third quarter numbers suddenly changed. But so did your presentation, automatically. You have the new Microsoft Office system. It's a Cinderella story.
Rich Eisen hosts NFL Total Access.
Fox NFL Sunday is brought to you by Microsoft. Your potential, our passion.
Ken Lucas made the play intended for Hakeem, and that may have been the drive of the game.
Well, that's the biggest play of the second half for sure. That was a huge play by Ken Hamlin knocking that ball loose.
That's strong. And you know Mike Holmgren has been on the sideline now for the last 7 minutes cussing guys out. You got to believe that offense is going to come out raring.
Yep, and here's the play. Watch Ken Lucas out here. Gets a good jam on Hakeem. Forces him to reroute to the outside. Now he tries to get back inside, and there's the knockdown. But Hakeem, he wants a flag. Watch the right arm there by Kenny Lucas wrapped around Hakeem. He's calling
there
for the penalty right there. Got away with one.
It was there. Play action. The dump off Alexander, and he's hit immediately by Otis and man Smith. Right now, let's go down to Los Angeles and James Brown.
Hey, Ron, 3 turnovers that plague Dante Culpepper. He's thrown 2 and fumbled once. Tries to make amends right here. 11-yard run to pay dirt. The big fella trying to provide spark for Minnesota. They've narrowed the gap 21-10 as they start the fourth quarter. Back to Ron and Tim.
All right, JB.
Big fella needs to hold on to the football. What do you have? Responsible for 32 turnovers last year. Coming into this season, first half of the season, great. Defense causing turnovers, making things happen. Now it's been a dichotomy of that for the Vikings.
Pickup of 4 by Alexander. 3rd down and 2. Now the Lions to get off the field. Big Daddy Wilkinson can't make the play. We've got flags down. Jeff Gooch pushes Mo Morris out of bounds, but let's check it out. That looks to be an apparent 3 and out for Seattle.
Holding. Offense number 72. Half the distance to the goal. Remains 3rd down.
What did we talk about in the open? We talked about the killer instinct. What did we talk about at halftime? Kicking somebody while they're down, stepping on their throat and making it happen. This offense has come out here in the second half of this game in the 3rd quarter and have already got a couple of 3 and outs. That's not the way you press the issue that Mike Holmgren talked about.
That penalty was on Chris Terry, the right tackle. So Tom Ruin standing in his end zone. He's got a long of 61 on the season, and he needs it right now. Good hang time. This is Swinton, and Swinton drops the ball.
That 3 muff punts we've had today. Wow. There's nothing with the lights here at this stadium, and there's no glare down there. I've never seen this many muffs. It's not super windy right now, and this is the 3rd one. He just turned his head. He just turned his head, was looking at coverage before he gathered that ball in.
Thank goodness for Torrey Holt's little brother, Terrence Holt.
Yep.
He saves the day.
Being a punt returner is just like being a receiver. You've got to look that ball in before you catch it. You can't turn your head and either A, look at coverage, or B, try to run before you get it. That's what happened to Reggie Swinton.
So, once again, the Seahawks go 1, 2, 3 and out for a 2nd consecutive time here in the second half, and the Lions will get a shot for another drive.
And you know why that hurts? Where are they at? They're sitting at the 46-yard line right now in a real good field position.
End around. They throw it. Harrington tried to, but he'll go down. Cedric Woodward is in on the play along with Chad Brown, and they've got a flag, a late flag.
I'd be surprised if it's not something where the Chad Brown or somebody gets their hand up in the mask of Joey Harrington. Chad comes unblocked. Now let's watch. There it is.
There it is.
There's the 5-yarder there with the left hand. See if Mike Carey says it's a 15 or a 5. Joey wants it, and he got it.
Defense, 5 yards only from the spot of the sack. We'll get back to the line of scrimmage. Still 1st down.
So really, Seattle doesn't end up all that bad. It's from the spot of the sack. That would have been much more damaging if it were downfield.
Well, I think the thing that Chad is at least somewhat, and he's not happy. You got the got the face mask, but he still gets the sack. So you got the sack. That's 5.5 now on the season. Yeah, that's the way you do it. I mean, years ago, that's not a sack. Now they give him the sack. And then the 5-yarder back to the line of scrimmage after the face mask.
2:17 and ticking here in the third quarter. Seahawks bring up an 8-man front, expecting run. They get past, and that's what happens when you guess wrong. Hakeem, he should have a first down. And Hakeem is coming up with a couple big plays here today, but there's been some that he hasn't made.
Well, when he came over from the Rams, and both of these guys have not had good careers since they've come to Detroit. Hakeem, yes, he's had some injuries, and you can use that a little bit, but he was such a better number 3 receiver in St. Louis because you're going against that nickel corner all the time. Now he's counted on to be the number 2 guy. He's pulling usually the best defender, and he hasn't come up with all the plays.
Schrader gets necktied at about the 42-yard line.
And this guy has just been a pure disappointment, Bill Schrader. His numbers are way down this year. Did not have the year that they expected him to have last year when he came over from Green Bay. Did pick it up the second half of the season, and I know they'll be looking for that from him now as they try to push on and finish this season out, but has had a real problem getting off blocks in man coverage and getting off jams. And you got to be able to do that in this league. You get in situations like this, 2nd and long, 3rd and long, defenders are going to challenge you. You've got to be able to get off.
Tongue on the tackle, a pickup of 3 by Schrader. A pump and go. Harrington tried to go to the backside, nothing there. Let's check in with Los Angeles and James Brown.
Hey, fellas, Green Bay went on a 98-yard drive, capped by this Ahman Green touchdown, 7th consecutive game with a touchdown for Ahman Green, and the Packers are on top 20-13. That in the 4th. Back to Ron and Tim.
All right, JB, and we've got a discussion going on down here by Mike Carey and the rest of his crew. Now the late flag goes out.
Intentional grounding. Offense number 3. That's a 10-yard penalty. Loss of down. 3rd down.
They get the intentional grounding here. I want you to watch Isaiah Kaczynski, who's going to come up the middle and get a shot on Joey Harrington. You tell me what's different from this than the John Randall hit that came back for a roughing.
None.
Absolutely nothing. And they get nothing there, and then let's see where the ball goes as Joey tries to unload it. It does not get past the line of scrimmage. There's nobody there, and it doesn't get past the line of scrimmage. Throwing from inside the pocket, intentional grounding. But how was it different what Isaiah did right there on Joey Harrington than from what John Randall did the last drive, picking up the roughing the passer?
It wasn't. This is familiar territory for the Lions. 3rd and 17. Ball at about midfield. Play clock running low. Here comes the blitz. Bring it from the left side. They pick it up nice. Harrington up the field, and it's caught by the tight end Ricks. And that is a huge conversion. He's down inside Seahawk territory, a pickup of 19.
Seattle comes with the blitz, and how about Sean Bryson right here picking up Chad Brown? Not an easy guy to block coming off the edge. Gets low, delivers a nice hit on Chad, and then Joey's got the alleyway to find his big tight end, Michael Ricks, for the big first down. Nice job in blitz pickup by Sean Bryson. Got to be able to block in the West Coast offense if you're a tailback, plain and simple.
This could be the last play of the 3rd quarter. Ricks again stays in bounds, tries to get upfield, but D.D. Lewis subbing for Anthony Simmons brings him down. That's the end of the 3rd quarter. Detroit 14, Seattle 35. Fox NFL Sunday from Seattle will continue after a word from your local Fox station.
You're watching the NFL on Fox.
It took 56 seconds to send flowers to Mom, 48 seconds to check the movie listings, and 32 seconds to download Dad's vacation pictures. Time saved versus dial-up, 9 minutes, 18 seconds. What could you do with 9 minutes and 18 seconds? Get SBC Yahoo DSL for $26.95 when you sign up online. At this price, isn't it about time? One more way we bring it all home.
Well, what's your brother into? Well, growing up, if it was cool, he had it.
Hey, dweebs, check it out. What is it? A VCR with remote. Psych.
Well, DVDs are cool. So are video games. We also have the latest music. Or classic hits.
Mint.
Thousands of possibilities. Get yours. Best Buy.
What's wrong with my SUV? It was fine last year.
Trust me, Pacifica's better. Look, I'm telling you, all-wheel drive, heated second-row seats, it's perfect. See?
Oh, look cool. A navigation system so we can find our hotel.
Hotel.
Go well beyond the SUV in the 5-star crash test rated Chrysler Pacifica. And during the year-end sales drive, get 0% financing or a $3,000 cash allowance, plus our 770 powertrain limited warranty.
Hurry to your Chrysler dealer and see how good the best values in America can be.
Highlights, hits, and misses. Catch the Fox 17 Sports Ticket tonight on Fox 17.
35-14 Seattle as we start the fourth quarter here. Ron Pitts, Tim Ryan, and Tim. Joey Harrington, they're giving him more chances, a lot of penalties, but he's making some things happen. They just can't get past that barrier once they get inside the 20-yard line.
No, Seattle has let him hang around here in the second half. There is no doubt about that, and Joey Harrington has made some plays. And I think one thing when you look at Joey, when you look at this Lions team, is all year long they fought. As bad as it's been, they have fought, they have battled for 4 quarters, and it won't be anything different here on the road in Seattle. And they've got an opportunity. They punch it in here, and they're back in this football game.
Second down and 12. First play of the fourth quarter. Pump fake. Look for the slant and go. He didn't have it. Still has time. Wide open is Ricks. And Ricks is down inside the 10-yard line, knocked out of bounds at about the 5. Finally by Cochran, the defensive end, hustling all the way downfield.
Somebody lost Michael Ricks. I mean, Joey Harrington is back here trying to find a receiver. He's scrambling, he's looking, he's scrambling, he's looking. Now he looks out to a safety outlet and says, what? Nobody's covered. Michael Ricks standing over there on the sideline. Look, there is nobody within 40 yards of him in terms of going back into the field. And then Ken Hamlin comes up and is able to take those knees out, check his shoe size, and get him down.
That tells me he's seeing the whole field this year. Pickup of 28 big ones. Gary in motion. Play fake to Schlesinger. Plenty of time on the rollout. Look at this. Caught. He's out. So Joey Harrington has been busy all day.
Well, he hasn't let the 2,000 family and friends that have come up to see him from Oregon down. That's for sure. A couple of big touchdowns in the first half. Scrambling, doing a good job, as you said, seeing the whole field, throwing it to different receivers. And in the fourth quarter is when Joey Harrington can play football. I can't tell you. Look at that rating. I mean, so much better than he's been coming into this game at just over 60 for a passer rating. I can't tell you how many games people up here in the Northwest saw him pull out in the fourth quarter when he was playing at Oregon.
10 fourth quarter comebacks when he was at Oregon.
Yep.
They have a touchdown by Bryson, but we've got flags down.
The play does not count. False start. Offense number 10. 5-yard penalty, remains second down.
See, that's what happens when you lose one of your starters in Scotty Anderson. Now you've got to put your fourth receiver and your kick returner out there in Reggie Swinton. And there it is. Just a little hesitation, a little stop and go. They're not going to miss that, the line judge standing over there on the side.
They'll march them back, second and goal.
And Seattle has done a good job down here in the red zone with their backs against the wall this afternoon.
Blitz. Harrington can't connect. Ken Hamlin came from the free safety spot with a bad hammy.
And they do it again. And this is why you can blitz. You know why Seattle can blitz? Because they've got the personnel to man up. I mean, they can come in and bring guys. And there's Hamlin up here. And he comes in and gets the hit on Joey. But they can do that because they've got guys that man coverage down the field. And that time it was Sean Springs who was in perfect coverage.
Alandis Gary along with Fitzsimmons check in for the Lions. They show a 2 tight end look. That's Fitzsimmons in motion. Play clock low. Plenty of time again for Harrington. No pass rush. Look at this. Just relax.
And he throws an interception almost. Oh, in and out of the hands of Sean Springs. And you know the Lion brass is behind us going, oh.
Yeah, it's clear that Joey Harrington said, forget it, I'm taking chances. They've got everybody. Now it's the scramble drill. You've got guys scrambling, and defenders, what they do, they've got to plaster. They plaster a receiver, and he's lucky Sean Springs didn't come down with the interception. That is not a smart decision by Joey Harrington, who's made smart decisions all day long. But, you know, my feeling, and I'll stick up for him, is he's saying, heck with it. I'm going to take a chance. We're down 21 points. We've got to get this thing in the end zone.
But how about the lack of pressure up front by Seattle?
It's been the story all year long, and that's been the biggest problem with this team defensively.
4th and goal inside. Now that one's intercepted. Springs. Intended for Schrader, and Sean Springs comes up big. His first interception of the year.
My husband's going to cut you off when the light turns green.
I'm driving with my knees.
You don't always know who to avoid out there.
I'm really tired.
That's why every Saturn L300 comes standard with ABS brakes, traction control, and head curtain side airbags. Finance a new 2004 Saturn L300-1 for $249 a month. See your retailer for details.
No one's been able to make the perfect chicken strip with the right chicken.
So this is chicken?
The right breading.
These are very dry.
The right sauce. Till Wendy's found a better way. Introducing Wendy's home-style chicken strips. Big pieces of breast filet with your choice of delicious Heartland Ranch, Deli Honey Mustard, and spicy Southwest Chipotle.
Nice.
Try Wendy's new home-style chicken strips. It's better here. And remember, you can eat great even late.
For flicks.
Yeah, you know, you can only get that DVD here. Get you front and center for the Rolling Stone shows. Hey.
Get 4 Flicks, the ultimate live Rolling Stones concert DVD box set, exclusively at Best Buy. Thousands of possibilities. Get yours.
Fox NFL Sunday is brought to you by Saturn, makers of the highly adaptable view, stylish midsize L300 and the fun-to-drive Ion. By Best Buy, thousands of possibilities, get yours. By Wendy's new home-style chicken strips, another reason it's better here. And by Warner Brothers' new motion picture, Gothica, in theaters everywhere Friday, November 21st.
Sean Springs trying to fight his way back into a starting position, and that's a step in the right direction.
It sure is, and he's been talked about in the papers up here, just getting back from an injury, and didn't play real well at first, but now really starting to settle in. He's been to a couple Pro Bowls and starting to show up out there on the field, and I think a big deal there is getting a turnover for this defense. It's been a while since they've knocked the ball loose and have come up with it.
Alexander outside. We got a flag down. We'll check on that when we come back. Let's head south to Los Angeles and check in with JB again.
Hey, Ron, Minnesota was on the move at the 12 of Oakland, and Dante Culpepper fumbles the ball. The second fumble recovered. He's actually fumbled 3 times. That was his second recovered by Oakland to go along with 2 picks. Oakland's ball. Minnesota still trailing by 11. Back to Ron Pitts.
Well, you talk about a headache for Mike Tice. He has seen that way too much. Talked about last year, and now this year it's the same story. The last 3 or 4 weeks for the Minnesota Vikings. Can't hang on to the ball on offense and can't force a turnover on defense.
So the holding call. Second down 8. Mealy, and looks like he picks up the first down. And Tim, I got to go back to the touchdown. Bill Schrader has done this before on a slant route. You got to keep coming and fight across. This is what really fried up Brett Favre.
And this is the interception. You're right. You got to get inside leverage. He doesn't even try for it there. Sean Springs takes it away from him. He doesn't even fight to get it. And that's just lack of effort, in my opinion, there by Bill Schrader on the slant route. You have to get to your inside leverage. Your quarterback is counting on it. Sean Springs beat him to the punch.
Pickup of 9 by Mealy, and there's Alexander. Alexander just pinballs Corey Harris, and he picks up 6. And Alexander today, it started off great. He had the big 55-yard run in the first quarter, and this offense really got going after that, as you see his numbers here.
And they need to get him going. I mean, this is great, 77 yards in the first quarter, but Mike Holmgren plays offense to where there it is in the fourth quarter. He can really start salting the thing away and running the football. The thing with Sean Alexander is he'll keep pushing, he'll keep popping. He's only one play away, Ron, from breaking at 50 yards.
Second down and 4. Alexander again. And Alexander today, as we mentioned, it started off hot. This was the 55-yarder in the first quarter.
And again, right to the left side behind Walter Jones and Steve Hutchinson. That's his favorite place to run. Again, to the left side there. Hey, what do you know? To the left side there. Hey, Ron, what do you know? The left side again. And that's where they've done everything. That's their bread and butter. Sean Alexander's having a very good day for the Seahawks.
So good that he needs to take a blow. He comes out.
Well, it's, I would imagine, 3rd and short, probably a pass if he's back here all by himself.
Max Strong along the backfield. Pump fake. Jackson is open. He's got Jackson on the sideline. Pushed out of bounds at about the 35-yard line by Holt. And that's good enough for another first down.
I mean, how far has this guy come? We've watched him play now, well, for when he first got here in Seattle, and then last year getting the start at the beginning of the season, then getting benched, and then coming back, having a second chance when Trent Dilfer had the Achilles injury, and now he hasn't looked back. And what he does is he never gives up on a play. I mean, when he first got here, he would have taken off and run that thing and tried to pick up 2, 3, maybe 4 yards. Well, now he just is patient, goes through his progressions. The receiver scramble drill for him, and he's able to get it to Darrell Jackson.
Got the 3rd most passing yards in the NFL since week 15 of last year. Alexander goes down, gets back up, tries to keep moving.
They're getting a little testy down there.
That was not well received on the Lions sideline.
Yeah, Corey Harris says, you guys got to blow the whistle. Look. He's telling him to look up on the Jumbotron. And let's see if we can hear a whistle. No, he was never down. The ref never called a whistle because Sean Alexander went down and nobody touched him. So the smart thing, he got back up on his feet, did not declare himself down.
2nd and 14. And then Alexander drops this one. So maybe the woofing had something to do with it. It's not how you play, it's how you talk.
I have not been impressed with Seattle's offense in the second half of this game. And all Mike talked about was really figuring out how to push it and push the ball down the field. When you got somebody down, let's keep making it happen. Let's open it up. And let's dial up the big plays, if you will. And in the second half here, they haven't had an opportunity to do what they wanted to do. Remember we talked in the first half how they were dictating everything and how they wanted to do things? That hasn't been the story in the second half of this ball game.
This is a big 3rd down and 14. Middle of the field, knocked away nicely. Dre Bly, his first start in 2 games with a bad hamstring, leads the team in interceptions and comes up big there.
Has this offense lost their intensity? I mean, it really seems like it to me. Bobby Ingram's just going to sit and wait. He doesn't come back. Look at him, he's just sitting and waiting and waiting and waiting. And Dre Bly's able to get over there and bat it down. When you're sitting out in that zone, you better break up on the ball as a receiver and come back and get it. That time, Ingram didn't, and Dre Bly just slipped in front of him.
Bruin will punt away to Swinton. Swinton reverses field and then gets a headache around the 23-yard line. D.D. Lewis on the tackle. 9:34 in the 4th. 35-14 Seattle.
Introducing the first SUV with a power sliding rear roof.
Whoa.
The new GMC Envoy XUV. professional-grade engineering. It's not more than you need, just more than you're used to.
Are you scared? This is the girl that I saw.
It's impossible. She died 4 years ago. Don't you trust me?
You can't trust somebody when they think you're crazy.
Halle Berry, Robert Downey Jr., Penelope Cruz.
Something is really happening to me.
Gothica, rated R, starts November 21st.
Hey, Bob, you get a new haircut?
No.
Hey, Bob. Hey. Did you lose weight?
Nope.
What's different? He finally asked his doctor about Viagra. Find out if a free sample is right for you.
Did you just talk to the doctor?
Yep.
Ask your doctor and see the difference.
E-server for music.
E-server for news.
E-server for science.
E-server for stews.
eServer has blades and it's stackable too.
You need more, you get more. It's all up to you.
E-server can work with your software at hand.
E-server will give what you want on demand.
From heifers to hogs, there's no task too tough. They're smart, fast, and scalable, all that good stuff.
They're flexible, bendable, super reliable.
Utterly viable.
Give them a triable.
IBM eServer X Series features the Intel Xeon processor.
Well, next week, Fox NFL Sunday begins with America's #1 pregame show. Then these Lions continue their road trip when they take on the first-place Vikings. They are struggling, but they'll get them. The Bears look for their first road win this year when they tackle the Broncos. That plus other regional action. Coverage begins at noon Eastern, 9 a.m. Pacific, right here on Fox. And a big day for Stephen Davis once again. And they'll take on the Dallas Cowboys next week. That should be a big game, and Dallas plays tonight against New England.
And who would have thought that these would be the top two teams in the NFC? And it's arguable, there's no doubt about it. But record-wise, 8-2 now, the Carolina Panthers, they get the win over the Washington Redskins. And Stephen Davis just under 100 yards, 90-plus yards on the ground in that ball game. And then the 7-2 Dallas Cowboys. And last time I checked, they were the #1 defense in all of the NFL.
Unbelievable.
Tell me what a job Bill Parcells has done down there in terms of transforming the attitude of those football players. It's relatively the same personnel.
Maybe all they needed was a coach.
That helps.
Let's go down to Los Angeles and check in with James Brown. JB.
Hey, Ron, despite 4 turnovers by Dante Culpepper, he is rallying Minnesota. Take a look at this. To Kelly Campbell, 2 plays, 81 yards, both passes to Campbell. That a 29-yarder right there. The 2-point conversion is good. Minnesota has narrowed the lead to 3 with 7 minutes and 50 seconds left in regulation. Back to Ron Pitts.
How about Culpepper threading the needle between 4 defenders right there?
First and 10 for the Lions. Harrington. Schlesinger. Knocked down quickly. Marcus Trufant, and that's one thing you like about Trufant. As a rookie corner, he can cover, but he can also come up and hit.
He's a very good tackler, and you need that in Ray Rhodes' scheme. He counts on those guys to come up with corner support on the run, and then in the passing game as well, tackling everything out there on the flats. And Ray's got to be happy with the way his defense has played this game today.
A pickup of 3. Second down and 7. Going downtown to Schrader. And Schrader can't get to it. And the big picture looks like this in the NFC West. The Rams pulled out a narrow victory today over the Chicago Bears. So Seattle has got to win today just to stay even. And they started out at one point, they had a 2-game lead, 3-game lead over the Rams.
Yeah, and again, it's been the last 3 weeks, losing 2 of the last 3 games, that has hurt the Seattle football team in terms of the standings. But they, as I said earlier, and these two are they're gonna slug it out for this division, the NFC West. And I have a big feeling that second week of December in St. Louis, Hawks Rams will be a huge game.
3rd down and 7, the slant. That one's high. Intended for Schrader. They'll bring on the punting unit for the Lions.
Not a good throw from Joey Harrington. Excited that he sees Schrader open on the slant. Schrader was able to get that inside leverage that we talked about, and Joey Harrington just lets it fly. That ball was rising as it took off.
But Bobby Ingram is deep. He's standing at his 39-yard line. He's returned one 83 yards today already for a touchdown. Calls for a fair catch.
And he secures the catch with a flag down at around the 42-yard line of the Seattle Seahawks. It seems like there's been a flag down on every single special team play today.
And as clean as it was in the first half for the Seattle Seahawks, it hasn't been that way here in the second half. I don't think they had any penalties in the first half of this ball game. It was everything was going just right for them. And again, 0 penalties in the first half of this ball game. This one goes against Detroit and against Seattle. Those are offset. Special teams coach Pete Rodriguez for the Seahawks. Got a double foul here. I would imagine this is coming against Paul Smith, the newest Lion, and Willie Williams, 27. Everything is good there. Everything is good there. Okay, now there's the fair catch. He's already caught the ball. Now they're still pushing. They're still chucking. They're still jiving. Now we'll get some more.
There are 2 fouls on the play. An eligible receiver on the kicking team, number 25, was downfield and holding during the kick on the receiving team. By rule, the receiving team's foul is the only one enforced. 10 yards. They retain possession. First down.
So much for that.
All right, so the 34-yard kick by Harris. And the Seahawks will take over around midfield.
And now with Sprint, unlimited night minutes instead of starting at 9, start at 7. And your calls are clear. Wait till I tell them about the nationwide network.
Now with Sprint, on any new service plan, you can get 2 more hours of weeknight calling.
Inside that robot is something familiar, a battery. And while you may think all batteries are the same, listen to this. It's just the rain, but with his Phonak hearing aid, he's hearing it for the first time. And when Phonak chooses a battery, they trust Duracell.
You heard the rain.
So whether it's a child's hearing or child's play, it just has to work. Duracell, trusted everywhere.
Introducing the first SUV with a power sliding rear roof.
Whoa.
The new GMC Envoy XUV. Professional grade engineering. It's not more than you need, just more than you're used to.
Fox NFL Sundays brought to you by GMC. We are professional grade.
Steve Mariucci and the Lions running out of chances here in the fourth quarter. 8:41 to play.
Keeping his feet dry, though.
Oh, he's got an interesting pair of boots on, I tell you. That's Alexander. And another flag is down. Unbelievable day today in terms of penalties.
This second half has been disjointed and sloppy by both clubs.
Tripping, offense number 88. The 10-yard penalty, still first down.
Okay, now we've regressed to tripping. This is looking more and more like 8-man football as the day goes on.
Pulling out all stops. Coach Holmgren, you got to be kidding me.
That's what you do when you've given up.
Yeah, the frustration level has set in.
The screaming doesn't work. None of that stuff works, and you just throw your hands up.
This is the coach up 35-14 with 8 to go. You think he wants this team to step on the pedal? And he knows how important it is. He's been to a couple of Super Bowls. He won Super Bowl 31 with the Packers. And he knows what you need to do in November and December if you want to go into the playoffs and have found your stride. You got to get it going.
They've got 6 penalties in the second half, none in the first half. And they can't run the ball. And we were commenting on Steve Mariucci's footwear. I got to tell you, he must have gone online to get those.
Look at that.
Those are sweet.
Well, a boy from Iron Mountain, Michigan. It's always more important to keep your feet warm than to make a fashion statement. He doesn't care.
That's right. Like they say, it's not how you play, it's how you look.
It's not how you start, it's how you finish. That's been the motto of Steve Mariucci. And boy, what a difference in terms of coming in and taking over this franchise in terms of what he did in San Francisco. And you know, he went into San Francisco and they were in salary cap purgatory and all that. But they had a lot of guys on the team with Super Bowl rings.
Second down and 20. Ingram inside. He'll make the third down a little bit easier. Matt Hasselbeck, as we mentioned earlier, Tim finally got it, because it was one of those deals where Mike Holmgren, after he brought him out here on the trade in 2001 from Green Bay, he was either going to make him or completely break him as his quarterback.
Yep, and Mike's hard on quarterbacks, but Matt Hasselbeck has finally bought into the system. It's the system that is so successful. And Hasselbeck has finally realized that, quit trying to do it all on his own, and started taking with the offense what's available there, and so far it's worked out. I mean, he's become a much more accurate passer, and his decision-making process is so much better than it was when he first got here.
That ball complete to Strong, but nowhere near a first down.
And this is a perfect example of it. Pressure right up the gut. Big Daddy Dan Wilkinson has him wrapped up there for a second, but he never gives up on the play. He knows exactly where his guys are going to be. The comfort level of this offense, you can tell it just clicked for Matt Hasselbeck with the last 6 games last year.
And I think he knows what a guy like Joey Harrington is learning. Sometimes that play there is the right play that particular time. Throw the ball away. As we get an outstanding punt here by Tom Ruin. All the way down inside the 5-yard line. 55 yards on the punt.
Boy, he's had a great day punting the ball. Special teams have been terrific. Bobby Ingram ran one back too.
Bud Light salutes you, Mr. Pro Wrestling Wardrobe Designer.
Mr. Pro Wrestling Wardrobe Designer.
Pushing fashion to its limits, you pair leather boots with a thong.
Oh, looking good.
An understated way of saying, I'm going to rip your head off and look fabulous doing it.
Ripping off heads.
So make it a Bud Light, mister, because without you, a man crushing another man's head in his arms would just look silly.
Simple, really. If we could get everybody in the country to drive the all-new Chevy Malibu, we think they'd agree. It's just about perfect.
Fox tonight. When Lisa's elected class president, school will never be the same.
I call a student strike.
Are you crazy?
These are little kids. Take out your tiny batons.
And all these Simpsons.
This is the kind of troublemaking I expect from your brother. Cool, a blank check for mayhem.
Part of a full hour. Then, Reese finds a secret diary. But is he falling in love with a fantasy?
You are so hot.
Or something a lot worse?
What are you doing with my old diary?
An all-new Malcolm. And catch the breakout comedy of the season.
You might want to find something a little stronger, Warden.
An all-new Arrested Development. It all starts at 7:30 with a new King of the Hill. Tonight on Fox.
There's a look at Matt Millen, the president and CEO of the Detroit Lions, our former comrade here at Fox. And he's got much bigger issues right now.
Yeah, he sure does. But I think they're headed in the right direction. And Steve Mariucci told us that. He says Matt is definitely on the right page. Everybody, ownership is terrific. The fan base, everything is there. Everything is in place except personnel. That's the area where they need to improve before this team starts putting some wins together.
There's Bryson. He's out to about the 25-yard line.
And I think a lot of that will go to Matt Millen. I mean, he's the general manager. He's the CEO of this football team. And I think he's done a real good job in terms of his drafts over the last 3 years. I mean, this is a guy that's a GM that still's acting like a player. Look at, I mean, he is down there. He's playing it.
You know how those linebackers are.
To me, he's the perfect guy for the job. And has caught heat in the Detroit area. Watch as this thing progresses with Steve Mariucci now at the helm.
Bryson got to the 15, not the 25. And that was Hakeem. He's out across the 30-yard line. Let's go to Los Angeles and James Brown.
All right, Ron, and take a look at a big gain that Edgerrin James had. Hey, this is his third rushing touchdown. Fourth time in his career, he had 127 yards on the game in that Indianapolis victory. Back to Ron and Tim.
All right, JB. Bryson inside again. And Steve Mariucci, talking to him, he understands this is going to be about patience.
Yeah.
He said it's going to be 2 years before we can get this thing going and get it to where we need it to be and get the right guys in it.
Look what he did in San Francisco. 60-43, 6 seasons, got him into the playoffs a few times. And you know, this team reminds him a lot of those 49ers in '99. When they had to get rid of a bunch of players, they were bringing in 30 new free agents and had to try to find some continuity.
Safety blitz, Hamlin on the outside, looking for Schrader.
They got to get playmakers, Ron. That's all there is to it. Charles Rogers, the rookie, is their top playmaker on offense.
He's out.
He's out. You've got to get guys that can make plays. I mean, today Scotty Anderson had over 80 yards receiving, and 72 of it was on one catch. But listen to this. This is ridiculous. In 9 games coming into this game, Detroit has not had one player, not one, either a receiver or a running back, that has gone over 80 yards on the day.
That's insane.
I mean, that right there tells you that you don't have playmakers on the offensive side of the ball.
And remember, they don't have running back James Stewart, lost in the preseason. Deep comeback, they'll try it again. This time Schrader gets it. Lucas on the coverage. That'll be good enough for a Lions first down. A pickup of 12 on the play.
I think Joey Harrington has played pretty well here today. He had some big touchdown throws, a couple of plays where he didn't pull the trigger fast enough to his receivers, but I think for the most part, he has not let anybody down. All the family, all the friends that have come up to watch him play have got to be happy with what he's turned out. But this isn't what they want. Steve Mariucci does not want an offense that's got to run 45 or 50 times a game.
Hooks up with Bryson. Bryson gets away from one. And now Bryson out to the 44-yard line. A nice run brought down by D.D. Lewis. A pickup of 12.
You know, Detroit, it's been 20 games since this team has won away from home. And it doesn't look like it's going to get any better when you start sizing up the rest of their schedule. In terms of, you know, they're going to have to win on the road or they're going to break records. I think it was the 81, the Houston Oilers, 81-84, that have that record.
Harrington throws intended for Hakeem, but it's too high. And the road losses look like this for Detroit.
Look at that. Actually, that's the consecutive road losses.
Yeah.
That's right. And there it is, the record at 23. They're at 20. That's going to go to 21 today. So they'll be one away from the Bills. And then what they've got left in terms of their schedule, it's not easy. I mean, they're playing some teams that are all leading their division, and they've got to go into their house and try to get it done.
Hakeem is open, intercepted. Reggie Tongue, and he said they weren't throwing his way. Well, Reggie, they just did, and you came up with the pick, his 4th on the year.
But they had to be in man coverage and get over to the sideline to get in on it. He plays the middle of the field. They have not gone to the middle of the field. He's got Hakeem in man coverage. He's going to match up with him on the corner route. That's a bad throw by Joey Harrington.
They had him open.
Yeah, not getting it out in front of his receivers. And I think, again, we've seen that now 3 or 4 times today where he's late pulling the trigger. He throws that ball 2 seconds earlier. I think Hakeem's got a good chance to come down with it.
And the Detroit Lions have all but closed this one out.
And it's going to go to 21 losses on the road here for Detroit.
And Trent Dilfer checks in at quarterback for the Seattle Seahawks. Gary Carter gets the handoff. So Mike Holmgren understanding what's going on.
We talked about that record. I mean, look where they've got to go still. They got to go to Kansas City. That's at Kansas City. They got to go to Minnesota next week, and then they've got to go to Carolina. And that's not going to be easy. Division winner or leader, division leader, division leader. All tough on their home field.
Dilfer checking off the play. Dilfer making his second appearance this year at quarterback. Wide open.
Alex
Bannister, and he can't hold on. Let's go down to Los Angeles and James Brown.
Hey, Ron and Tim, big day for Shannon Sharpe as he becomes the all-time touchdown leader for tight ends with 61. 3 of them today. That on the receiving end of that Jake Plummer pass. They spanked San Diego 37-8. Back to Ron and Tim.
Talk about a totally different offense with Jake Plummer out there on the field. I think this offense was averaging about 28 a game until he got hurt. Then Danny Cannell came in and surely went down to about 14 points a game. So clearly with Jake back in, that offense operating on all cylinders.
3rd and 9 for Dilfer. He'll hand off. Strong trying to get 9. He's going to get more than 9. Big Mac twisting and turning and rolling. And he doesn't get the ball much, Tim, but he's got a 4.9 yard per carry average.
Having his best year as a runner this year and has been in Seattle since '93. And I think he has earned more runs. You know, he had a big touchdown earlier in the year, has come up with some big plays, and I think hence Mike has said, okay, we're going to give him the football more. We're going to let him go out and run and give him a few opportunities.
Two-minute warning coming up, and I think Trent Dilfer is going to let it happen. He's replacing Matt Hasselbeck. And it could be all academic from here on out. The score, Detroit 14, Seattle 35. We'll return after these messages.
Fox NFL Sunday is brought to you by the new Chevy Malibu. Your private Malibu showing starts at ChevyMalibu.com.
Simple, really. If we could get everybody in the country to drive the all-new Chevy Malibu, we think they'd agree. It's just about perfect.
You know, I dated a girl named Georgia. Had to break it off, though.
Come on.
It's about love, man. That's what it's
For
about.
when you need it most, our longest-lasting Energizer Max ever.
After that, I told myself,
Do you have the bunny inside?
I am not dating girls named after states.
The Zales Holiday Keepsake Music Box, exclusively designed by Lennox, with the diamond heart pendant for just $99. More than just music to her ears. Exclusively at Zales, making moments last a lifetime.
See Matt Hasselbeck's numbers there, and that's pretty darn good day's work.
Look at that, a 107 passer rating, and it's amazing what happens when his receivers catch the ball for him. That,
yeah.
You know, his rating coming into the game was somewhere around 88. It clearly would be well in the mid to upper 90s if Darrell Jackson had caught the footballs that Matt has thrown his way. And all the receivers have dropped balls, they've dropped big plays, and I think a lot of credit has to go to Matt Hasselbeck for not losing any confidence in his guys. He knows that, hey, look, Darrell's going through a little slump, and he told us in the meetings, he goes, I'm not going to quit throwing his way. I've got confidence in him that he'll come down with the football, and I like the way Matt got him involved early in the game today to get his confidence up, and I don't think Darrell Jackson dropped one all day.
We're under the 2-minute warning here. This is Gary Carter. And Carter trying to make some headroom, doesn't get much at all. In fact, he lost 4. And talk about strength of the remaining schedule as the Lions call timeout.
here's what the Rams and Seahawks have to look forward to.
Yeah, and they're both pretty even there in terms of the opponent's winning percentage. You feel bad for these Cardinals, the worst team, and got to play the toughest teams down the stretch. But when you're Seattle, you better get some wins on the road. And that's the bottom line. They're 5-0, going to be 6-0 here at home right now. When you take a look at their schedule and with what they've got coming up, and they're going to have to win some games on the road. San Francisco, St. Louis. And there's some places where if they want to get to the top of the mountain come the end of December, Mike knows they're going to have to go into somebody's backyard and put a game together like they put together in the first half of this game. 6-0 at home this season, and have really got the crowd and the Seattle folks in this part of the country to buy into this. I think they were cautiously optimistic coming into the season, like, you know, we believe the hype over the last couple of years with this football team. They've underachieved, and now I think they feel like they've got something to come out to the stadium and cheer about every Sunday. Undefeated here at home in front of their fans.
Hey, they got a 4-6 now.
2nd and 14. Carter in motion. Keith Evans. The other fullback, he'll get some inside. Trent Dilfer, for him, you know, he injured his knee in the first preseason game last year after he was given the starting job with Matt Hasselbeck. Matt Hasselbeck had come out here and he couldn't get the job done.
See there, at St. Louis, at Minnesota, at Baltimore, at San Francisco. 4 really tough road games ahead. And you're absolutely right about Trent. And you talk about a guy that Mike Holmgren has been elated with Trent Dilfer since he's been here. And when he came in as a starter, he played well. And now he's been just a tremendous buffer, if you will, and a sounding board in between Mike Holmgren and Matt Hasselbeck. You cannot underestimate how much Trent Dilfer has helped out this football team as their backup quarterback. And you've got to always feel good knowing that if something happens to your guy, you've got a Super Bowl winner that you can plug in.
Yeah, a guy with a little bit of experience, huh? So they'll bring on the final punt for Tom Ruin, who's really had a pretty darn good day. He landed a couple inside the 5-yard line. And the wind seemed to bother Nick Harris on the other side, but it didn't bother Tom Ruin today.
Got to tell you, though, a little impressed with how the Lions team has held it together in the second half of this game.
So with 16 seconds left, the Seahawks call timeout.
And I don't care what you say, there's no moral victories for Steve Mariucci. It's going to go to 21. We talked about what they had left coming up, and they're tired of talking about it. Joey Harrington, Steve Mariucci. I asked them, how do you guys, put this thing behind you and go out and do something on the road? They said, you know what, we're tired of hearing about it. The media is making a big deal about it. It's been 20 games. We just want to win. And I basically, my thoughts were, then if you're tired of hearing about it, go win a game on the road.
What did Joey Harrington say? You may have already covered it, but he said that has nothing to do with me.
I wasn't here when that streak started. I will be here when it finishes.
Until you win on the road, it does have something to do with you.
Yeah, and they're going to keep talking about it. The media is going to keep talking about it. Everybody's going to keep talking about it until you get a W away from home.
All right, so Ruin will try. Gets a line driver. This is Swinton. Swinton hasn't had a lot all day, and this won't be much different. He's run out of bounds at about the 47-yard line. 37-yard punt, 8-yard return. And after this game, time permitting, we're going to try to get everybody to the Minnesota-Oakland game, the final minutes of that one. Sam Rosen and Bill Moss are a few miles down south, checking that one out.
That's right, down in the East Bay, and Minnesota has put a frantic comeback on in this game. Looked ugly real early, and Dante Culpepper trying to make a game out of it, making up some of those early mistakes in the first half. This is the kind of game Seattle needed, and again, not a big second half, but I think they stepped on the neck enough in the first half and had that killer instinct that Mike talked about. They got 35 points going in at halftime and has been a tremendous cushion here for the second half of this ball game.
So that's it. The Seattle Seahawks come up big They go to 7-3, tied with the Rams. This is Ron Pitts for Tim Ryan and Amy Van Dyken saying so long. The final score is Seattle 35, Detroit 14. Right now, we're going to take you to bonus coverage in the conclusion of the Minnesota-Oakland game in Oakland. So long, everybody.
We welcome those of you who just watched the Lions and the Seahawks. Sam Rosenfeld, Chris Myers in Oakland.